Greetings, family. Welcome to Pan-Africanism towards Nationhood, where we're building a global Black business pipeline. Yes, family, we are back. The dynamic duos are back. Bomani Tyehimba of Africa for the Africans, Tours and Investments. And I'm here with my good brother, Kala Genesis from the Black African Infrastructure Organization. And family, we are the kings of Pan-Africanism, looking to connect you with a unique vision towards our nationhood. Greetings, my good brother Kala. And
Greetings, brother Bomani.
yes, as usual, we have a dynamic topic, always yeah, confirmed by Kala. Highly recommended. So this one is called "Waiting for Reparations as Destroy the Black Power Movement." So Kala is going to go into deep Afrikstan analysis on this one.
Right. Uh, reparations arrested, if not destroyed, the Black Power movement. Why I say that is that the Black Power movement was all about self-help, do for self. It was a cornerstone of the idea that we're a nation within a nation. We don't need the white man. We could build with Africa and people, whoever we want to build with, and we could do whatever we want to do and empower ourselves. It was about Black empowerment. Empowerment comes from within. Someone else can't empower you. And so, therefore, even though you may say I owe reparation, everything, you cannot rely on that, to get you to the next level. At the same time that we gave up on Black power movements, Black by Black. We used to have this thing in Operation Push, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Even though he gets credit for it, right? It wasn't really him. Let me tell you how things work, folks. Right? And let's go back to Marcus Garvey. Okay, the UNIA movement you see Garvey was not all Marcus Garvey. These were fragmented Black power, Black think tanks, and everything that came under the banner of the UNIA, the Black Nurses Cross thing, the Black Factories Association. These were things that already existed, that were already incubated, right? And then when Garvey came up, they say he electrified the people to come together in one big mass movement. That's how mass movements are a thing. They're all individual movements. Just like the Liberia project wasn't Garvey's project. That was something that people were working on. Let's build colonies in Liberia, connect with Liberia and everything. And that part of the movement went to the Garvey movement. That's what the Black Power movement is all about. It's about individual initiatives, group initiatives coming together for a bigger common purpose. Now, with that, it's abundantly clear that Black people could accomplish anything we want to do if we have that mentality. If you over here is doing that, you over here is doing that, and I'm doing it, everything, and we come together and we could all agree on something, right? We'll get together. And that's exactly what was happening in the first phases of social media. People coming together that didn't know each other, putting together Black Wall Street groups and everything. People making money. Some didn't make money. Some were successful, some were don't. But the main thing was we got back into the thing of it's not just empowerment monetarily and everything. It's the whole idea that we're people. That's what we're battling right now. Are we a people? Right? Black people, we love to be around other Black people, and we say things and everything, and we know how to talk to each other and everything. You feel like you're a part of a community and a people. See, when they break that from you, that you're not a people, right? You're more reliant on them or the system. You become more, I'm an American. And you forget your culture, you forget what your purpose was and who you're supposed to be with. And this leads us to our topic tonight. I believe the reparations movement is being used as a tool, right, to get away from Black empowerment, to get away from those grassroots things that we did, the study groups, the boycotting, all these things that were effective. We're gonna support this product right here, push this Black-owned product right here, not support this business right here. All those things are powerful things that will bring corporations to its knees or at our table and everything, right? So with that mindset that we're empowered with black power and everything, we're gonna have Black power, we're gonna have Black businesses, we're gonna have Black real estate, we're gonna have black-owned schools. We have all this stuff like this, right? With that, we become independent. We become bold and emboldened. We become brave. And so therefore we can stand up for ourselves. But when you take that away from people, tell you that no, black people ain't got no money. We gotta rely on the government. And the government got like this. You're giving you're arresting the natural power that God gave you, right? And giving it into hands of other people so they can media out. Look how foolish black people look when Gavin Newsom, this weirdo governor, of California, this sick, pervert, weirdo governor, is basically sitting there laughing at your thoughts that you were going to get a reparations check. Gavin Newsom, are you kidding me? The governor of New York, are you kidding me? This is what you sacrificed, right? Instead of saying, oh, we're good. We got money hand over fist. We got $1.6 trillion coming into Black America, right? And we're going to invest that money. We're going to form investment clubs, right? I remember in the 90s, Black people were forming investment clubs, right? Everybody's forming an investment club. If you form an investment club and you could build a portfolio of $200,000 a year, 11% return, what's that, 10%? That's $20,000 right there, positive return, right? You can hedge that money for 5 years and say, we got $20,000 annual return every year. You could borrow up to like $1 million if you want to purchase businesses and everything. You do that over and over again. And there were many Black people doing that, and doing investment clubs. We were doing susus, gifting things and everything. Money was circulating in the community. We would say this is the only way because our back was up against the walls. When your back is up against the wall, you're going to find a way how to survive. You're going to say, something? There's a lot of money in our community. There's a lot of money. We're doing really well and everything. But along comes the people that tell you about, they said, how do you stop a man with a vision? You give him another one. No, we got to talk about reparations. And then people get lazy, because they foolishly believe there's a reparation. There's a chance that you might get reparation. So if there's a chance that you might get reparations, then why would I take all this hard work being around people that I don't really like? That's the key right there. The Buy Black movement, the Black Empowerment movement was teaching us how to work together and love each other. With the reparations movement, you can sit on your computer, show up in different chats and make up and not do anything because you think a reparation check is coming. So you don't have to build a relationship. Look at the relationship Bomani and I have. We're about to do this tour and everything like that. And we got many more years of success coming up and everything. That takes time to build a relationship with someone. And we don't want to build relationships with anybody anymore. Why do you think these YouTubers, every time you see them, they're always fighting? Instead of saying, why don't we all get together and get our own platform? We can monetize our own stuff and build our own stuff. No, you are satisfied with your super chats and you're satisfied with your whatever algorithm they give you, and you're satisfied with the crumbs that YouTube hand out to you until they suspend you. Well, I don't get my channels changed. You're back to being a nigga, as you started with. But this is a no nigga zone here tonight. So you bring the nigga shit tonight or not, you will get crushed. And that's my opening. So Bomani, take it from here. Hey, you're muted, Bomani. You're muted.
Yes, family. College Genesis is always on fire. And that is the topic, family. So we'll post a link shortly if you have a question for Kala and if you have any evidence that shows, what we're talking about. Yes, family. So on that note, let me share with you two of our business website, Bomani Technology and Africa for the Africans Tours and Investment. And then we get you back to our scheduled program as we showcase more of what we're talking about. So yes, family, that is the website that make it all happen right there. Bomani Technology. When you see all the fancy technology, all the things you're doing, these are the hands of my brand that we have just built over a period of time. And this goes back all the way back to 2005. So 19 years in the making, and we literally just cover all kind of different things. And This is a private operation and based on appointments and based on things like that. So it's not an open 24/7 in and out operation. So let me get into it and showcase and share with you some of the things we do. Yes, family. And so my background information, I always like to displace those things. So you see real resumes of real background from computer to electronic technician to aircraft to avionics technician, and that spans a world of go back to when I was 13 years old in Transit Tech High School, learning electrical installation and practice. So that's one of the things that we always recommend, that we as a people build skills, trade, talents, and then we put that energy together because we're talking about nation building. So as you scroll through this website, some of it is basic, right to the point, simple, basic computer technology services and troubleshooting, to advanced remote access, to setting up these incredible, beautiful home theater system, and literally, these are honestly the things that we can literally do. It's all about what you want, and it's something we can set up. So I always tell people, just reach out, and we're in competition with big corporations and things like that, but we have that personal energy as far as just direct business. So from tech support, troubleshooting, things like that, we don't mess around. It's something that I've used to build the energy of what we have as far as Africa for the Africans towards an investment, and also the energy of our Black Star Pan-African community. So that is our technology. 2005 to 2024. And main menu just has a list of all the direct things that we offer and more. But since we're the technology expert, just make a call and we can let you know if we can do it or not. Some things require for you to be in the same area and some things don't. So on the main menu, these are the things right here. So unique remote access, smart home automation system. Like these are just, when we talk about modern day advanced technology, those are things that people like myself buy equipment, test them, train, troubleshoot, learn them. And this place called Bomani Technology, our office, is rigged with all kind of fancy stuff from the outdoor.
Can I interject right here? I'm a
go ahead.
I use Bomani's services, for my MailChimp and different stuff. I'm telling you right now, the guy knows what he's talking about, So I use his services for all my technology needs and everything like that. He could do it from remote too. And so, like I said, somebody who's a novice at computers, like myself, he guided me through the whole thing through what's it called, TeamView.
TeamViewer. That's one of the elite remote access programs. You do file transfer. You can literally just repair whole computer system from remotely. And it's things that we've done this many years over and over. But that's when people see all these beautiful images, videos, documentation, that's what we specialize in, using advanced technology to just make things work. And from group chats to social media, that's the world of us sharing and presenting. So looking forward to us going to Liberia so we can just unleash all aspects of our video documentation and show you our technology in the highest form. So yes, definitely, Kala, we're going to keep on doing it, and we're going to keep on doing it strong. So yes, family. So we're in a modern age of video surveillance, security, all that good stuff. So from your phone to panels in your home, those are things that we talk about. So heavy on the security, whether it's computer security or it's home security, and there's no limitations of things that we deal with as a people. Yeah. Another beautiful home theater system. That's a projector. These are things that you just make come to life, and it just becomes like a natural science to you when you have a bunch of equipment and things, and people look at you, they ask you, they wonder, and you tell them it's a simple sequence. Nobody ever believed that, but it's that sequence. But it's just like any other system. Once you learn those systems, you can just work magic. I always encouraging more of us to build our own independent websites and get great hosting service and also great business support. So yes, family, those are all in the world of Bomani technology, and the website is right there. You can always check it out, and we can always get you connected. But that is the world I've invested my time into, a world of business technology. And it's a serious thing that we take, because in order for you to just make these things happen, you just got to be on it. So that's what we do throughout the day, and we get our groups ready for travel, and we just work the energy of business. So that's how I stay flexible and be able to move around, do the things you need to do. So here we are, family. Africa for Africans, tours and investment. So that's our connection to connect you with the African diaspora to the African continent. So from 2004, been traveling the African continent, covered 10 countries. Morocco and Liberia coming up next month will be country 11 and 12 across the 20 years. And that is building a fact-finding energy and using the documentation and presentation, and just us sharing our experience as the way to just build what we've been able to build, where more of us are into Africa, more of us want to do business and investment. And even when it comes to business and investment, always trying to organizing these incredible business and investment conference, so you can be clear about living, doing business, and investing in Africa, and not just think that you can just run to Africa like it's some playground, and then you just all this coming with rose-colored glasses and this having a fairy tale mindset. You're talking about a real continent, or real countries, real people, real struggle, and people can look at you as your next victim or next person to this take advantage of. So those are things that we tell people that don't go green. Open your minds. Think about the things we're talking about. We're experts. We've been moving around the African continent for 2 decades. And so when you talk about consultation and you talk about looking to reach out to someone and connect with them, that's my information, family. We spend our time building these expertise. So this is the list of our upcoming schedule, and that is going to take you. Last year was a great year as we traveled to Senegal and Gambia, spring of last year. Ghana, same thing in spring. Then Tanzania in fall, and South Africa in winter. So the same flow of the schedule we have this year, except we're going to kick it off with Liberia and Morocco. That's March 29th to April 9th. And then we're going to take you to Ghana in the summer for the Ghana Repatriation or Ghana Roots and Culture tour. It's all those incredible things. That's July 11th to the 23rd. And that'll be the 24th journey of a lifetime to Ghana over the span of this will be 18 years traveling to Ghana. So great expertise. All the schedules, the details are laid out. Once you click on the link, full information to get you prepared with visa information and so on. All right, as we close out the year, we have Egypt Roots and Culture Tour. That's November 21st to December 2nd. And that is going to be an incredible Nile Valley civilization journey, and also take you across to the Red Sea. And we have this flights on Egypt Air, and we're looking to take you for land, air, sea, and get you all over to this one of the most incredible historic country in the world. And we're going to close out here in South Africa, and that is our Roots and Culture journey, December 24th to January 4th. So that is a duplicate of our last journey with some adjustments to make it nicer. And then the following year, looking to Senegal and Gambia, looking to replace that, but won't talk much about that until we get back from our Liberia journey. But that's it's been, as time go along, we're just making adjustments, and some schedules will be rooted out and replaced with other schedules as we just expand across the continent. So Ghana Roots and Culture Tour, May 24th to June 5th. That will be the 25th journey of a lifetime, and that's a popular time. So looking forward to a nice big group of people committing, so we can just take you around a nice big coach bus around tropical paradise. All right, and as we close out the end of 2025, we have Brazil. So we're looking forward to taking you back to Rio de Janeiro, and Salvador Bahia, and enjoying the beautiful tropical beaches, incredible adventures, and history and culture, great food, nightlife, shopping, networking, all those good things. So family, that's the schedule. And as time go along, we'll work on some new schedule based on interest. So you can always reach out. You scroll down and you'll see a whole lot of links, details, updates, and then famous links for all of our social pages. So plenty of videos and photos, and then 33 groups tour photos from 2006 to 2023. So as you scroll down, you see all the beautiful group photos, and then you'll see as time go along, you see the advance in technology as the pictures are brighter, sharper, more incredible. Same thing as the videos. So that represent our last year journey with these beautiful Africa for Africans t-shirts. So looking to produce some more incredible, colorful shirts to represent our connection. So family, the journey continues, and let's get connected back to our regular scheduled program with Kala Genesis, because Kala is on fire tonight. Yes, Kala Genesis. So family, that is the number, the website, the details below. So reach out and let us get you connected.
Oh yes, man. I'm so inspired, man. I'm so fired up right now, brother. All the work my brother Bomani is doing. This man has a work ethic that's unmatched. I've been in the work world for years. And I'm gonna tell you right now, very few people can match this man's work ethic. You know, you do business with this man, you getting your money. You're getting your money's worth. You know.
Yes, family, that's what we're looking to do. Yes,
And we're
Kala,
looking for productive people that can produce. If you can't produce, you're not productive, then we just be a supporter, you know, and then figure out what you want to do. What we're not going to have is people that are unproductive and everything like that. We value everyone's opinion. Okay, we respect everybody's point of view. But I just think too many people are getting on YouTube, right, that have nothing to show for what to justify why we should take you seriously as far as like criticism. Now we're open for criticism, and trust me, I have my critics. Everything, you know, but
well, you got a lot of them so far, brother. They're already out there, man.
oh
Let me know
Lord,
when you're ready to see some of them. You can
yeah.
start with this guy right here, this moist guy right here.
Oh yeah, my friend.
What kind of man call himself moist?
Moist. You know, you gotta change that name, bro. You know, Ross Moist. Ross, you gotta change that. You know?
Well, this what it say about you right here.
Yeah. You know, what do it, colonizer? They you know, the fun never stops, man. The fun never stops. But thanks for joining us tonight. You're always good for a good laugh, you know. Always good for a good laugh, you know. You know, so bottom line is this, you know, we respect all opinions and everything like that, but remember something, opinions like assholes, everyone has one. You know, you could be dead wrong, you know, but just because you may have lots of viewers in your subscribers, and all the time, what does it translate to? You know, when you do this business right here, and you talk about nation building and stuff like that, you have to deliver.
Yes.
That comes from hard work. That comes from being dedicated. You know, people could tell when you're not doing your real work throughout the week and whatnot. You just get online and run your mouth. You know, people tell. You can tell when you have something, you got something to share. People, we have way too many people that are that is out there just misleading people and everything. And like I said, this reparations thing, the reason why I'm taking this on, right, is because I really believe this is a grave threat to the coming future of what we're trying to build. Okay, if you basically think you're going to sit around, right, on the internet talking about reparations 24 hours a day, and not only that, you got people that should know better. I'm calling on my good brother Phil Scott. You know, people that should know better, right? you're going to make a political decision. There's many things going on in Black America, right? We need safe communities. That's the number one thing people tell me. Our communities are not safe. There's guns on the streets. There's drugs. There's a whole bunch of young men running around with no direction or anything. And so therefore, instead of basically, if we were in our Black Power groups like we were like a few years ago, we would be talking about things that we could do. This is what we need from the federal level and state level and local level to solve some of these problems, okay? Years ago, there was this teacher, a principal in Newark, New Jersey. He found that a lot of kids didn't go to school because they didn't have clean clothes. The kids were making fun of them because they smelled, right? You know what he did? He took the initiative, find the funding, right, and built a laundromat inside the school. So the kids could come to school, wash their clothes and everything. And then he had after school programs where instead of being on the streets, they could play basketball. You know, they could be around mentorships. They could be talking to people about their future and stuff like this. So you give people a direction. That all comes out of the Black Power movement. That comes out of the groups like the Black Panthers back in the days that used to be in the communities, talk about self-empowerment, self-improvement, self-image, self-love, and all the stuff like this. Now, fast forward now, no one wants to talk about that. All you want to talk about is how Black immigrants are doing you wrong. You want to talk about how I hear conversation now that if you were married to a foreign Black or Caribbean Black, you were entitled to reparations. All this foolishness, excuse me, all this foolishness is what's dominating the headlines in Black America. It's being permeated out through social media to the point where people don't even talk about. I can't even find any channels now where people talk about Black power and Black anything. A couple of years ago, I was part of a gifting group, a Susu. We raised a lot of money, and we made money. You know, it was all about Black power. We're going to build Black businesses, Black platinum cards, Black banks, and all stuff like this. All that came to a halt right now in 2024 because we think that the solution is waiting on white people to give us apologize for slavery and give us a reparations check. So we can, instead of doing what we need to do to build our communities, to build ourselves up, to build our families like we used to do, everything, we think that there's going to be some white man on a high going to come riding a horse and give everybody $500,000. That's foolishness. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to tell you it's going to happen. And don't tell me, oh, it's a possibility, Carl. No, it's not a possibility. It's not logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. The acronym LARP. Reparations is not logical. It's not achievable. It's not reasonable. It's not practical. Black power and Black empowerment and self-help, those that are logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. So if you can't understand the two, the problem is the Black race. We have never gone through, like the Europeans did, the age of reason. The age of reason says, even though something may feel good, but let's use reason. And let reason override our worst of angels. Let's let reason override our carnal desires. Let reason let us delay gratification. Let reason lead us to what? Common sense. Thomas Paine had a book, a pamphlet called A Plea for Common Sense. You know, the idea that everybody, the common man knows what he wants. And those who lead the common man should know what the common man wants and needs. That's just common sense. You can have all the idea, the education in the world, but if you don't have basic common sense, you can't go anyplace. And so I ask people all the time, why, when we talk about politics in America, right? Why would anybody with any half intelligence, right, tell Black people if the Democrats or Republicans are not going to talk about reparations, you're not going to get their vote? Do you understand what that means? That means that somebody's going to get in power that's going to have the power of life and death over you, like what's happening in New York and Chicago. But why is this happening to me? Because you didn't vote. You didn't get engaged the political process, talk about this is what we want. Back in the days, give Al Sharpton credit, there were no black people on the MTA board. It was all white people and everything, right? And then basically, after a few years of black empowerment, right, there are black people on the MTA board. That was exclusive for white people. They said, well, most of the bus drivers and transit workers and everything are black and Hispanic. So why are there no black people on the MTA board? That's what's called black empowerment for the people. Now black empowerment means a politician only takes care of himself and his family. You see with this Fannie Willis situation. She's giving $600,000 to a lover. You see these city girl mayors now who are under federal investigation because they're only out for themselves. The community is not benefiting from it because black power and all that stuff like that is out the door. It's all about me, I. And they steer you towards the system. What can you say when people say black, the 40% of homeless people in Los Angeles are black? But Los Angeles is a POC, people of color run city. Black people are doing bad in places like Baltimore, Detroit, and everything, but these are all Democratic run cities. These are people we voted for or did not vote for by staying home and everything that allowed to get into power. So when there's no resources, there's nothing for the youth, there's no jobs or anything like that. There's nobody basically saying, look, we need to build jobs in our communities and we need education, we need all this stuff like this, because that's not happening because you decided you don't want to participate in the political process, but was arguing for social and economic power. This is what we're talking about tonight. So anybody who wants to talk about reparations and say, okay, let's just get a reparation to solve everything. That's not going to solve everything. Because one, it's never going to happen. And two, if you do get reparations check, you have no infrastructure thing. The money will just go right back into their system. So this is what we're talking about tonight. We want black empowerment. You know, we've been talking about it for far too long. I understand that black empowerment means work. It means sacrifice. It means meeting up with people you may not have anything in common with. He may like the Knicks. You may like the Lakers. You know, he may be from Chicago. You may be from New York. You might have a difference of styles. But black empowerment back in the days meant that if we're black, we need to work together no matter what our differences are. You know?
Brother, lots of negative comments, brother. I mean, I'll be telling you, man. It's like
that we're gonna take our money and give it to Africa. I don't want to get angry right now, so let me come back to that comment later. You know, I'm gonna let this Rico idiot let me call it. You can't leave on, but you can't make them drink. Yeah, oh yeah, you can make him drink. You can stick his head in the water and say, "You better drink, or I'm gonna drown your ass." You know, and that's what I'm doing tonight. You know, I didn't come here with a little paring knife, right? I came here tonight with a double-bladed axe to cut down the tree of ignorance and foolishness. Keep on the work by. So the bottom line is this: we cannot keep letting people foolishness. Now Baruti is going to tell me something about Ubuntu and stuff like that. Dude, come on, you know. Let's see what he says. The term Black Power movement used instead of Pan-African title. Well, we're talking about Black Power movement because the so-called Pan-African movement, I don't know anymore, you know? Everybody got their own goofy definitions of Pan-Africanism, right? This is why I feel like this. Pan-Africanism towards nationhood. Pan-Africanism towards Black power. Pan-Africanism towards Black African infrastructure. Now, you could take the same thing, take out the Pan-Africanism, and say Christianity towards nationhood. Christianity towards Black empowerment. Islam towards nationhood. Islam, but I don't give a damn how the means do it. The main thing is the end goal. People are just Pan-Africanists. This is called themselves Pan-Africanists. And to say you're known by a tree is known by the fruits it bears. What is the Pan-African movement bearing fruit besides divisiveness and foolishness I've been seeing online all the time? Going to Africa and buying some dusty land and sitting there going broke and everything like that. Is that Pan-Africanism? Speaking outdated languages that don't do us any good. Is that Pan-Africanism? Wearing a dashiki, is that Pan-Africanism? You know, that's what it's all about. What's the end game? Are we advancing? No, we're not advancing. So I'm going to read the whole comment. Why the term Black Power movement instead of Pan movement is the title of tonight's show. Ultimately, the meaning of scope of the Black Power movement. I'm glad you asked that, right? Because everything was rooted in the Black Power movement, right? We're in a world where white power dominates. So in order to counter white power, you have to have Black power. Who are the Black people? The descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, right? Who we took on the identity of Black out of slavery, out of the worst form of human degradation. That's our identity. Before we are Africans, before anything like that, we're Black. That's our identity. That's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against a world that does not oppress us because you're Christian, you're Muslim, or you identify as African. They look at you as Black. That's what it means by Black power. That means that the whole entire race, when we empower, we pull our entire race up. Americans are not buying into Black. We purchase FBA. What? Descendants of child slavery, suburbs of my area, boycotting tether business. This is what I'm talking about, this foolishness. You know, ADOS, FBA, indigenous. This guy represents not even 1,000,000% of Black people. Nobody cares about what you call ADOS, FBA, and freaking foolishness. Nobody does. Nobody cares about that. Black power means all Black people. Whether you're from the Caribbean, from Africa, if you believe that you're Black and you're part of the Black race, that's what it is. So this is what we're talking about tonight. So you guys gonna get pissed off at me all you want. Hey, Carla, it appears that to me the community voting need exercise strategy become a useful tool if group economics, high culture. Look, the bottom line is voting. If you live in America, voting it's not negotiable. There's a difference between being interested in something and having interest, right? If you have no interest in your family, your values, and everything like that, don't vote. And then don't complain. The people of Chicago, I don't feel sorry for them. They got what they voted for or did not vote for. So this idea, I don't have to vote and everything. But guess what? The Mexicans are going to show up at the polls. The Chinese are going to show up at the polls. The Jews are going to show up at the polls. The white folks are going to show up at the polls. You know? I don't think the white guy is going to give you FBA reparations. That's the whole thing. There's no FBA and there's no reparations. You know, two things that's never going to exist. You know, FBA, which is a non-starter, and reparations. Two things that only in the imagination of Negroes online on YouTube.
Yeah, you're like a heartbreaker. So on the topic of reparations, Robert Johnson decided to just do something else other than going after reparations for all of the Blacks and Africans in the diaspora. So this is a beautiful story, and stay tuned and listen towards the end. That's when it gets even better. But this is a man with a vision. So that's what we love to see more of our people get into. Use the system, use the connection, and make a connection to Africa. So Kala, you mentioned that this is one of your most beloved story with Robert
This one
Johnson.
inspired me back in 2010. You know, this inspired me. But I was thinking about this all the time. I said, man, we need to make this connection to Liberia. And then also I turned on CNN. I saw this on CNN. Then I saw it on YouTube. You know, I saw somebody put it on YouTube. I said, yeah, this Bob Johnson. Because I remember he was talking about it when Barack Obama was running, Hillary Clinton was running for office in a primary, and he was with the Clinton Global Initiative. He said, we need to invest in Africa and do stuff like this. I said, I hope it goes someplace, right? And he made good on his promise, you know? And so
Yes.
I was like, so I said, do we need more of this? You know, and he talked about the future.
It's a perfect. So, family, let's listen to the visionary. And this goes back about a good, 10, 12 years ago?
2010, I would say about 14 years.
And let's see when this was done. This was 13 years ago. That's what this was done. Beautiful Liberia. All right, so yes, family, let's play this. And
Delta Airlines is capitalizing on a demand for greater access to Africa. It just added flights to Liberia. It is the 7th African country now with direct Delta flights to the United States. Airline execs credit African-American investor Robert Johnson with making the business case for this latest destination. CNN's Brenda Bush reports Johnson has deep-rooted interests in helping Liberia.
Africa's first female president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and America's first Black billionaire, Robert Johnson, together celebrating a milestone, the first U.S. commercial flight in 20 years to touch down on Liberian soil.
Our big thanks go to Mr. Robert Johnson, who's here on this flight. He has been a steadfast friend to Liberia in so many ways.
After more than a decade of civil war and lingering security concerns, Liberia is trying to make a comeback, and Robert Johnson is joining in the fight. And it is personal.
The connection, historical connection between Liberia and African Americans in particular is significant. The first 10 presidents from Liberia were freed American slaves. Liberia's flag is red, white, and blue. It has a president, a House, and a Senate, much as we do.
Johnson is a trailblazer. He is the first Black person to be named on Forbes' annual list of the world's richest people. He founded BET, the first cable television station for Black Americans. He is a real estate mogul and investor, and now fulfilling a vow made at the 2006 Clinton Global Initiative to make a difference. Johnson entered a new frontier, helping the country that was founded by America's freed slaves.
There's this unique cultural tie and historical tie between African Americans, the freed slaves who settled Liberia, and America.
Strengthening those ties have prompted Johnson to plant roots here. He has built Kendija, the first oceanfront resort of its kind in Liberia, its villa-style rooms decorated with a contemporary African flair. He also helped establish a $30 million investment initiative to provide loans to local entrepreneurs.
Well, Liberia has all the right ingredients. It's got a beautiful coastline, as you can see behind us. It is 9.5 hours if you fly direct from Atlanta, as Delta's doing, eventually to Monrovia. It has an English-speaking population that's very well educated. It has a huge airport. It has an opportunity, as I said, to be the entry point into West Africa.
But one thing Liberia still needs, according to Johnson, is the support of African Americans.
We as African Americans need to look to the future and determine how we can help Liberia never return to the dark days of the past.
Liberians have long felt a strong kinship with the United States, so there is tremendous appreciation here for the wealthy American who is making the case for this impoverished nation.
This is an opportunity for African Americans, and I've said this before, for African Americans to embrace Liberia the way Jewish Americans embrace Israel.
Robert Johnson taking a lead in that embrace. Brenda Bush, CNN, Monrovia, Liberia.
And African Americans certainly need jobs in this economy. Robert Johnson is back from Liberia, and he joins me live from New York. Bob, it's good to see you. Thanks for your time today.
Tony, delighted to be here with you.
Well, let's get started with this, Bob. But take a look at this quote from a former Treasury Secretary, Bob Rubin. And here it is. We'll put it on the screen for you. It seems to me that we in the United States should be more focused on Africa, not only as the source of natural resources, but also for the full range of opportunities that exist. There is no reason why our president shouldn't be as great as, if not greater, than China's. Now, given your investment in Liberia, you obviously agree with the former Treasury Secretary. As you were thinking about Africa, what did you see as the possibilities for the continent?
Well, Tony, when you look at sub-Saharan Africa, which I think is what we're talking about, there are over 600 million people in sub-Saharan Africa. It's a tremendous opportunity for the growth of a vibrant middle class. The African nations are rich in minerals and natural resources. They have a tremendous coastline for exploration of oil, as they're doing outside of Liberia. And the governments are becoming more stabilized, more focused on free market economies, contractual rights. And all of this augurs well for sub-Saharan Africa becoming the next emerging area in the world as these countries become more stable and more politically sophisticated, and the economic need for the rest of the world to engage sub-Saharan Africa.
You know, Bob, I heard the case for Liberia in Brenda's piece, but that's not enough for me. I want to push a little bit more on that. Why Liberia? Aren't you taking a big risk investing in that war-torn country?
Well, you know, obviously, Tony, with risk in any area, emerging nations or war-torn countries, there's a huge risk. But I think Liberia, in the case of Liberia, it's a risk worth taking. First of all, they have a dynamic leader in President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Her commitment to Liberia and the experience that she's gone through in becoming president convinces me, and is convincing a lot of business people, that Liberia is open for business, that the government is focused on contractual rights, is focused on prohibiting any form of bribery or corruption. And as I said, Liberia has rich mineral resources, great fishing opportunity, great tourist opportunity. And I can't imagine in any scenario that the Liberian people will ever return to any form of the fighting and civil war that crippled Liberia for over 15 to 20 years.
So you attend the big Congressional Black Caucus weekend, and when you talk to Black leaders about Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, and specifically Liberia, what kind of reaction, Bob, do you get?
Well, most of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus have been committed to Africa and for a long time. Obviously, they took the lead in apartheid, ending apartheid in South Africa. They've seen what's happened in Ghana when we get political stability, and they look at Liberia because of the number of Liberians who live in the United States. Liberia has a huge expat population living here, some 15,000 in Atlanta alone. And the opportunity for these individuals to, one, support Liberia with their sending money back, or going back home and take their U.S. training and knowledge and applying it to Liberian economy, as well as the historical relationship of the United States with Liberia. Liberia was one of the, as I said, the first countries in Africa that embraced the United States. During World War II, the Roberts Field, where we landed our planes, was a place where planes flew into to continue the flight on into North Africa to defeat Nazi Germany. So there's this connection between the United States and Liberia, and between the people of the United States and Liberia, that I think the caucus members want to see promoted and encouraged, much as we do with much of the diaspora.
Yeah, well, Bob, can't let you go without asking you a political question. And I got to tell you, well, you were a Hillary Clinton supporter during the campaign. The campaign is obviously over. I'm sure you followed the first 18 months plus of the Obama administration. And as you know, we're showing everyone the numbers now. The president's job approval number is in the 40s. Here's the question. As you consider the president, the first African-American president of the United States, do you approve of the job he's doing?
Well, I think you got to put it all in context, Tony. Obviously, President Obama should get credit for stabilizing the financial markets and the banks and the confidence he had in making that transition from what was happening before he was elected. I think he has his work cut out for him in two areas. One is obviously business confidence and consumer confidence. And you don't get consumer confidence up unless you have a coherent message of how are you going to put people back to work. And at the same time, you don't get business confidence unless business can get some certainty as to what are your policies towards economic growth, investment, and tax policy. So while I think he's got a tough fight ahead of him, some of it obviously he didn't create, but the fact is it's on his watch now, and it's his responsibility to give a clear message to the American people in the broad sense, not just Main Street, but Wall Street and small businesses and minority businesses, that I've got a plan to get this country back on the right track in the short order, and give people the confidence that his leadership is going to provide the confidence that this country is sorely lacking.
I think you just made the CNN political ticker. Robert, it's good to see you. Mr. Johnson, thanks for your time today, and
Tony,
we'll visit again soon.
That's the type of leaders we need. That's the type of leaders we need. If we listen to people like that, imagine if Black America would have galvanized behind this 14 years ago, where we'd be right now. Where we'd be right now if we galvanized behind this. And like he said, sub-Saharan Africa, Black America connecting with sub-Saharan Africa as far as business, education, and all these things. It's all about Black empowerment. And I don't want to hear the word Pan-Africanism if it does not include Black empowerment, nation building, community building, family building. That's what people leave out. I'm a Pan-Africanist, but I ain't got shit to show for it other than saying, getting up on YouTube saying, I'm a Pan-Africanist, look at me. So this is what I'm talking about tonight, folks. The idea that we have to have Black empowerment. And Black empowerment is only going to happen when we take initiatives on our own and do things like Bob Johnson did in Liberia. He was the first who built a beachside resort. Now they're popping up all over Liberia, He, like this, when people want to give credit to Lebanese and everything, he was the first one that said, I'm going to take a chance to build a 4-star hotel, Kandeja, And then next thing you know, these other people start saying, oh, I'm making the rooms booked out, everything. Now Liberia, every time you build a hotel in Liberia, they can't even have occupancy because they're booked up. Because of what he did. Nobody took a chance on this country but this Black man from America. And that's empowerment. So when we go to Kandeja, right, we stay at Kandeja, when we stay there, we're basically continuing this journey of Black power. Now it's being manifested itself on the African continent, where a Black man like us from the Americas basically built a hotel on the continent of Africa, right, that started the ball rolling in this country. That's Black power. Getting up there, pumping your fists, and all this stuff like that, that's not Black power. This is Black power. Using your influence to make a difference. Black liberation, Black empowerment, Black power. Yes. We got to have Black empowerment, Black liberation. You can't be liberated till you're empowered. And people have forgotten that. People have forgotten all what it's all about. How come he ain't moved to Liberia? Pretty sure he lost his money. He didn't lose his investment, And the bottom line, it wasn't about him moving to Liberia. He's also in Ghana. He's also in South Africa and different other countries. So the bottom line is this: Bob Johnson got hotels and casinos in places like Puerto Rico and the Caribbean also. So Rico, if you understood how business works, You understand how you go where there's opportunity. So nobody's asking you to go to Liberia or Africa. We don't want people like you because you obviously have nothing to offer, you know? Liberia is not poor. Poor is something relative. There's nobody starving in Liberia. You'll go down there in Randall Street, you'll see young people out there with their own cafes, their own shops, and some everything. Yes, there's poverty in Liberia. There's poverty everywhere in the world. But how can you compare that to California, one of the richest regions in the world, and you got so many people homeless? You don't see homeless people in Liberia. California has a $4 trillion economy. Yeah, you got people sleeping in their cars. You know? So the bottom line is this. All you ADOS FBA people, you're on the run. I get it. I'm cornering you. You're on the run. If there are any people in the diaspora here, none of these people in the video are friends of the FBAs. You know, what is the FBA? You know, the FBAs are nothing but black people who identify SBA are nothing but black trash. I can tell by the way you talk, the way you present yourself and everything. You're nothing but black trash. You're nothing but ghetto ass trash. Uneducated ghetto ass trash. You can't show me anybody with any intelligence that calls himself FBA and believe all this stupid nonsense. You're the lower rungs of Black America. Black America, the real Black America, every great Black person in America identified with his African roots. Every one of them. They didn't separate themselves based on, I'm from here, man. They understood this is a global struggle and the dignity of Black people have to be affirmed by all of us coming up. So you guys can take that someplace else. Monkeypox didn't come out of Liberia, you know. All this black ghetto trash garbage, you know. The lowest rungs of Black America. Keep talking. The lowest rungs of Black America, you know. You are the worst mushmouth talker online. Oh, not my mushmouth. I think I talk pretty clear. You guys have nothing to show for it. You guys only have, besides Tariq Nasheed's, who's just using you guys don't even have, you guys can't even boast a successful YouTube channel with a following that anybody respects. You guys can't even articulate what you're all about. That black skin is man. The guy's a freaking weirdo. Black skin is amazing, you know. He's the guy who says that Black people are superior because of our European DNA. That says much about him. He says Black Americans are superior to, we're different from Nigerians because we have white DNA. That makes us superior. You're dealing with the very lowest, the worst of Black culture and Black America when you're dealing with these FBA ADOS people. They're the dregs, the scoundrels of Black America. They have no smoke for the white man. You'll never hear them say anything bad about white people, Mexicans, Chinese, everything. They only talk about other Black people. Here's what you have. You have Black garbage now leading Black people out there. And so therefore they sound appealing. Oh yeah, we need to, because the ADOS FBA people ain't gonna talk about Black empowerment. You never hear that. You never hear them talk about support black businesses. You never hear them talk about black businesses. You never hear any conversation about black banks, everything like that, you know? It's all about, okay, we got to read a reparations check because black immigrants are coming here trying to steal from us everything. You don't hear them talk about education. You don't hear them talk about anything other than hatred for other black people. There's nothing but black trash. I'm all right. I don't smoke that much. Trust me, folks. I need to smoke when I'm doing this show to relax me a little bit. Black skin is amazing. Is a tether. Why? Because he's tethering himself to white people. He brags about that that black immigrants will never have the relationship with white people that he supposedly has. Everything these people do is tethered to white America. Call it gaslighting clicks and views, gaslighting me, and not thinking about uniting black people. I am uniting black people, but like I said, I'm not uniting with idiots. I'm not uniting with fools, with clowns, idiots. They're more educated. Yeah, those of us black people in America who are actually educated like myself, right? I detest these freaking ADOS FBA people because they don't come from me. I grew up in a solid middle class, 2-family home. Many generations of success, everything like that. And I look at these people like they ain't nothing. I have nothing in common with them. I have nothing in common with people who believe in ADOS FBA.
The Rock is smoking something tonight, man. He just keep on making these nasty comments.
You know, I have nothing in common with ADOS FBA. What they want to do is this. If you take a high educated black person, right, and find he's a doctor, whatever like that, a lawyer, whatever, and you say, "Are you FBA?" They're like, "What the hell is that?" You know, oh, black people said they look at you like you're crazy. And it's time to put these people in the shoebox and put them in the closet like where they belong. You don't speak for Black America. He said, why is it bad for black people to worry about it? Black people are trying to survive. You know, black people are trying to survive. And Africans are not a threat to your survival. If you're really serious about that, right, then tell me why is it that 60% of all murders of black men are committed by other black men you call FBA, ADOS FBA? You don't care about black people. That's a lie. You bring them up every video. You must have in mind when talking about Africa. No, the bottom line is this. You guys asked for this. We've been ignoring this topic for a long time. And now it's time just to rein this in. While you guys are on the way out, I'm here to put my foot up your ass and facilitate your way out the door. African Future Pledge says there's no black capital. Yeah. Also, we need people to manage capital. We need to put capital and stuff like that in responsible hands. And we need to have real projects that really generate wealth and stuff like that. The best thing you could do as a black person is generational wealth. You do that by building black families and creating black wills and stuff like that, and black trust for your kids and stuff like that. Rebuilding the black family structure is key to black power. black social clubs. Things like that will bring back the community. Black love, black caring, black understanding, black fellowship. And in that context, right, anybody walks through the door is a black person. If you want to join our community, no matter where you come from, everything, you're part of our community. That's the way it always has been. Before these last few years on social media, you come to our community, you go join our churches, you join our fraternities and everything, and you hang with us, you marry with us and everything. You become part of Black America.
Yes, my good brother, Carl Genesis. You're keeping it strong. Would you like for me to let on Almighty Judea?
Yeah, let's see what Judea has to say.
Oh. All right, Judea, no long talking. Get right to the point with questions and things like that, because we're not staying on all night long tonight. So please don't drag it out. Greetings,
Oh
Judea.
yeah, what's up, brothers? What's up, Bomani? What's up, Kyla?
What's going on?
Man, I'm out here to just let you guys know you guys doing a good job, man. Black unity is what we all need. You feel me?
Appreciate it, man. Get into your wallet and take out one of those cards and send a super chat. Show your appreciation.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm at work right now. So, but I'm glad, man. Most of the time it's always hurdles, potholes, stop signs that is blocking us from achieving our goals. But it seems like people are getting the information, things are getting more closer, people are expanding their thought, a lot of things are getting achieved. So yeah, it's a great move, man. We are liking it. Sometimes we criticize, but at least we criticize to see the job being done, right? So I've seen Kala on certain platforms on Liberians. It seems like he's pushing his he's controlling, he has that part of the country in a lockdown. So
Yeah,
I saw you.
I saw your slick comment, Judah. I saw your slick comment. You tried to come in there on that one comment. I said, Judah, shut your ass down on that Liberian video. I saw you in it,
Yeah, I didn't know you were everywhere like that, man. I thought you were just,
They call me Carl Thanos for a reason, man. I'm everywhere.
yeah,
I see
that's
everything,
good.
man.
That's good, man.
Nothing gets past me, man. Nothing gets past me.
Yeah, that's good, man. You keep talking about building a black community where black people from any part of the world can come in and go inside and say, yes, this is a black community. This belongs to the black, without saying, oh, he's from Africa, or he's African American, or he's Jamaican. That's a great thing, as the world turn into probably we move into the 22nd century, it's going to be more of a united front. It's going to be us against them. So the more stronger we become, the more stronger we'll be able to, the more bigger in unity we form, we'll be more stronger than the people that we deem our enemy. So it's a good thing, man. We come to criticize, like I said, but we are all out for a one union. As long as everyone is being fair played, there's no, oh, you are this, you are that, yeah. So we are all happy with it.
Yeah, the main thing is this, right? Black America, the real Black America has always been like that. We had Kwame Nkrumah, went to Lincoln College, right? He went to Philadelphia, preached at a black church. He's from Ghana, and Marcus Garvey came from Jamaica. He was the biggest leader in Black history in America. We've always been like that because we understood one thing. When you step on these shores in America, now it's different in other countries because they don't have the socialization, but in this country, right, we basically say you're black. If you're black, you come to this country, you're black. That's the way we see it. That's the way we're always going to see it. Now, some Africans may say, hey, look, I'm going to do my own thing and everything. But the bottom, we understand that. I get that. Okay. People they don't want to get involved in our politics and social stuff like that. But the bottom line is this: when it really comes down to it, right? In the long term and everything, Black people, no matter where you come from, have to work together. Black people in America, African Americans, don't always work together. And that's the thing about this show tonight. And ever since the reparations movement came on, the Black unity and the Black empowerment movement just died. It's died. So since we're not focusing on building businesses together, and we can't say like a couple of years ago, Dynas had this Nigerian brother on the show, right? And he was based out of Detroit, and he was talking about building a supply chain, auto parts and stuff like that from Detroit. And I was excited. I told Dynas, give me that guy's number. He never got me the guy's number, but I was excited that this brother was like made all these business connections with the Black community in Detroit, and they're going to build. I mean, he might be still doing it now. I don't know, because the reason why I don't know now is because no one wants to talk about that anymore. I can't turn on any show anymore and anybody talks about Black empowerment, building supply chains, and everything. The reason why I came on YouTube 5-6 years ago on Dynasty Show to talk about stuff like this. Now everybody wants to do is talk about ADOS FBA. They want to talk about reparations. They want to talk about who did this, and there's no building anymore. And so therefore, when you give up on Black empowerment and building and everything, when you talk about Black empowerment, right, you don't give a damn whether a person's Nigerian or he's Black American, right? You want to see who can deliver, who can make the money, and who can put us in a better position. I don't give a damn where you come from. If you're a businessman, whatever like that, hey, my door is always open, especially if you're Black.
So, what you think about a few days ago we hear of some African Americans that passed away in the Gambia, and I've seen Black Americans on YouTube talking about Black Lives Matter in the Gambia and all of that. I asked myself, is there some kind of a division? So I mean, I know of a lot of Africans that have been shot in New York, Indiana, other state, and no Africans are coming around and say, oh, Africans' life matters or whatever. But I mean, it's rather unfortunate that people are dying probably a natural death in the Gambia, and there's some kind of assumption or saying people are killing them. I mean, I'm just confused, man, and it's just now I see this bashing between African Americans and Africans. So I'm really confused.
Well, this is the way I see it. The people who you were saying that don't want the Black people from America in the Gambia in the first place, those are the people saying that, and also fortunate what happens to these women. It can happen all the time, but the whole thing is these are women who are vulnerable, who basically don't have the protection around them. And you can't just go to any country and just for anybody. And I always say that Black people, when they come, just like if I have nothing against Africans when they come to America, right? They form their own little communities and everything like that. But be part of the greater Black community. If you're Senegalese, of course you're going to be around your fellow Senegalese community because you're going to feel safe around your people who come from your homeland. That's natural, and then you're going to feel some sort of way if somebody from Black America harms your community. You're going to say, hey, wait a minute here, you would be targeted. But I don't think there hasn't been in Black American history, right, Judah. There has never been a nativist xenophobic movement. Has never been. There has never been politically motivated violence in Black America. That means that we fight and kill over who we vote for or whoever like that. There's never been a religious conflict in Black America. Only one time was when there was a split in the Nation of Islam, and then some went Orthodox, and then some people from Nation will kill some Orthodox Nation of Islam. That was back in the early 70s. But other than that, Black America has always been like a sanctuary for Black people. So in other words, I understand why somebody from maybe Cameroon or whatever may stick with his Cameroonian comrades and everything like that. That's just pure natural to do. But the thing is, though, because of social media, right, that's magnified, right? In real life, when I walk down the street, and even where I live at, there's not a lot of Africans where I live at, but when you see a brother from Africa, hey, what's going on? We're going to the same sports bars, people liking the same teams, everything. That's a socialization process. They go into Black colleges and everything like that. And so therefore, live and let live. Live and let live. The thing is, what I'm not going to do is make another black person feel uncomfortable around me. Around me, I'm not going to do that. And so we all have that responsibility. As far back as the Gambia is concerned, it's unfortunate what happened to these sisters. It's another unfortunate situation is the Gambian police aren't that good at investigation. They don't even have forensics. They don't have ways to do autopsies and stuff like that, And so the black people from America have to know where they're going to when they repatriate to Africa. You can't just go to these rural areas and stuff like this. You have to basically, when you go to the continent, that you're still an American for the most part, right? You should check in with your embassy at all times and everything. Have a group of people that watch out for each other, check for each other. We're in these countries, because, even though 99% of the people are good, all it takes is for just one instance like this, for the people who don't want to see black people from America going to Africa, and the people who don't want to see Africans in America come here and stuff like that, to say, see, these people, we can't get along and everything. But yet the white people could come from all over the world, settle in middle of white America and everything like that. They could settle in Appalachian and everything like that. And nobody's going to bother them because there's a basic love of their white humanity. We don't have a basic love of black humanity. That's why this stuff happens with us.
Another question that I was trying to bring is, you have brothers here that when they go to Africa, you kind of realize that you probably want to be a problem solver. It's not probably going there for a retirement home, like what most people have seen. Most people go there for retirement home. The young guys go there, do travels, 1 or 2, live there for 2 years, and then probably come back to the United States. But the older people just kind of go there for retirement home. Now, if you have a problem solver mentality, because most African countries or most people from Liberia and these other countries, they want to see implementations on the ground. What do you have? That's why you see most people. I remember one time I came on this panel, I told you that most Cameroonians will probably look up to a white person in Cameroon. It's not because they white, it's because they have an implementation plan that they can establish infrastructure. They can see a problem and solve it. Now you have a problem where there's no forensic. You have a mindset over here that you are used to these forensic people that do investigations on a whole lot of things. These are open doors. I don't know why most of these people are African Americans. I mean, build a blockchain. Best Buy. Things are now copied and placed. You copy and paste it in Gambia. You copy forensic investigation, paste it over there. You copied some kind of a Best Buy, electronic stores. A Walmart, and build, come in a union, 2, 3, 4, 5, build something. I mean, establish. You see the Lebanese, you go to Liberia, the Lebanese are taking over places. I mean, people make a statement that, they are being sponsored by their government. But if you have 10 blocks that comes together, they might have the same amount of money that is bigger than what the Lebanese government is sponsoring, because I don't think the Lebanese actually have money like that compared to the 10 black people. So I don't know. So I'm thinking,
like I said,
it seems like we blacks in America have failed. We don't have no, policies at all. The blacks in Africa have failed. And it just feel like it coming together with two group of people that have failed, it might not really produce anything. It's just,
Well, we have to get back into, like I said, black empowerment, right? Black empowerment. And black empowerment can't be done with self-hate, And so when we were on our way in the 90s and the 2000s, everybody was just like, okay, we were building on what we were talking about in the 60s. Black power, black this, and the Pan-African this, and everything like that. But, now it's like we're becoming more Americanized. Black America's becoming more Americanized, unfortunately. You got Beyonce now. Our black love is not good enough for her, right? She wants to be a country music star now, imposing herself on the country music scene. See what I'm saying? And so black people don't even support black award shows anymore. We don't care about that anymore. It's all about the Grammys. It's all about trying to be, into the mainstream and everything. And so therefore, since we're losing that cohesion that we once had, we feel vulnerable when black immigrants come here and they're expressing their culture and they're expressing their stuff, and they're basically, saying we're going to do it without you and everything. And because Black America used to be a sanctuary for black immigrants. It used to be a sanctuary. Eric Fela Kuti came over here, He didn't go to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. He went to Detroit. He went to Los Angeles. He went to Harlem. You see what I mean? We don't have that Black America anymore because everyone's given up on the idea of Black empowerment, right? Without Black empowerment, Pan-Africanism is useless. So therefore, like to your point, yeah, the Lebanese got money, but they don't have money like Black America. But we're not organized. Like I said, we played Bob Johnson in the thing. Imagine if more people would have got behind him, not just in Liberia, but all over Africa, said, well, we'll do the same thing and everything. Imagine what it will be. Well, we don't. Black America has basically gone into this idea of an individualism and me. Give me my reparations check. The community be damned. Okay, let's say reparations. Let's build enterprise zones. We played the video many times about the Soul City project in the 1970s. Had Black America got behind that, Black America would be above white America right now, standard of living. But we didn't do that. Why? Because we don't like coming together. Soul City means that we're going to have to live among Black people. We're going to have to learn to sort our differences out. We're going to have to learn to work and cooperate. We're going to have to learn how to succeed and fail with each other. And that's how it's going to be. But we didn't want that. We want the short comfort of moving into a white neighborhood and everything. And we left our communities in shambles. So it's a lot of complex to it. The main thing is Black people have turned away from Black love, and Black love and Black cohesion. And so
let me yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So when you don't have Black love and cohesion, right, then you have this ADOS FBA stuff popping up.
Yeah, sorry, I wanted to digress to the African Union. A few weeks ago, I think the African Union was they hosted in Ethiopia, and I watched a lot of videos that were talking about a lot of progression, a lot of success stories, what they are gonna be doing. And come to find out, I did not see no Caribbean countries represented. I did not see a Black leader or an FBA leader or person from America that was over there. So I'm asking myself, it's like, is the Pan-Africanism, is it really working, or is just a word that people just use it to coin something for Black people to work together? But it seems like there's no deals, there's no backings, there's nothing behind it. No one is, pushing it with a leader. No, everyone is just, it's just something that, let's see how we can work together. Let's see how Blacks, because Blacks in America have realized that there is no leader. There's no person that is standing around and speaking and saying, okay, let me walk around in every African country, meet with these African leaders, talk with them, see what we can do. Let me go to the African Union and there's no leader. So it seems like most of you guys just do is just, stand around and talk, but to meet the right people, it's not working around. So when I watched the videos on the African Union, they were talking a lot of things that they talked about. They never mentioned of the Caribbean, Black Americans. It seems like the impact is not felt. It seems like there's no leader. It seems like everyone is like doing his or her thing, just looking for a safe haven to work with Africans. But to meet with leaders, we are not seeing that on the ground. So
this is what happened, right? The African Union come from the OAU. The OAU originally was formed in Liberia. It was met with President Tubman, Toure, and Kwame Nkrumah met in the hills of Nimba County in a place called Senequele. And they just had a chance meeting because Liberia was home to several Garveyites, Marcus Garveyites that were in there. Said, let's form a a thing to study the idea of uniting the continent, right? And so therefore, that's when the OAU was formed. Okay, the idea of the OAU was formed, and then it became really formed in Ethiopia, right? And then also they had the Casablanca group and the Monrovia group and everything. And then over the years, right, these different factions of the OAU were basically had a couple of things that they wanted to implement. One was they wanted to unite the continent under one like government, like a super government, something like the Soviet Union or the United Nations and everything, right? Then two, they said they want the Organization of African Unity to be the preemptive organization for the continent. What that means is instead of the Ivory Coast, France is use their monetary zone, or you're part of the French Union, or you're part of the British Commonwealth, right? The OAU was going to be the preemptive organization, and they were going to phase out the French Union and the British Commonwealth, end the war in Angola with the Portuguese, end apartheid in South Africa, right? And make Africa, and also integrate the black people from the United States and the Caribbean into Africa, maybe build communities, settlements. Part of it was this place called Fiancra in Ghana, and other countries in Africa, like Haile Selassie offered land to black people from the West to settle in Ethiopia. So therefore, they would integrate the black people from the diaspora into Africa by giving them land and economic development, stuff like that. Now, the last major meeting of the OAU happened in Monrovia in 1979, an event that was so spectacular, but was written out of history. Okay. What they did was they agreed on the Lagos Plan of Action, which means that to industrialize Africa, they would have to build a West African power pole. Nigeria is going to be the place of building steel mills. Liberia is going to supply iron ore. They was going to do all these type of things. And also African currency, all these things right there, and a unified African government. Liberia was the head of the OAU at the time. Okay. And so, and that meeting, Idi Amin was there. There was all types of heads of state were there. The Lancaster Agreement, which was a agreement brokered by Liberia and the OAU, which was going to basically give land back to Zimbabwe, settle a peace in Zimbabwe by giving the land back to the black farmers, right? And the whites would basically give that up on a willing buyer, willing seller basis. And the British agreed that they would pay for the white compensation of that. And also the liberation of Namibia, which was called Southwest Africa at the time. So what happened was when Liberia collapsed in the 1980 coup, all this fell apart. Also, the creation of an African Development Bank, right, was supposed to be in Monrovia, and the Pan-African Plaza, which is still in Monrovia to this day, right, was going to be a meeting place of the Pan-African heads of state. And also African security thing in Liberia was going to be a peacekeeping operation. The building never got finished. It was a big thing. So anyway, so after when Liberia fell in 1980, right, the African Development Bank was moved to Abidjan, Ivory Coast, instead of Monrovia. And so therefore, now, to your point, is there's no Caribbeans there, right? They invited whites and Indians and everybody. They redefined what is an African. Let's listen to this very carefully, right? If you don't listen to nothing I say, they redefined what's an African, right? Before, African meant that whether you're home or abroad, it was based on Garveyism. Home or abroad, you're an African, right? And so the African you had, when they talked about African issues, right, they also talked about African Americans, Afro-Caribbeans. What would change over the years was they defined Africa by geography. That means if you're born on the continent, whether you're white, Chinese, everything, you're an African. You see what I mean? So right now, there's no real Pan-African movement in the African Union because anyone is defined as an African, And so therefore, the African OAU was basically sub-Saharan Africans and Egypt, and I think Morocco was part of it too. But they basically understood that the majority of the continent were Black Africans, and it was all about Black Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. the African Union now don't define Africans as being by race. It defines you by your geography. That means that Elon Musk is an African, Charlize Theron is an African, Patricia Hines Carey is an African. The whites, the Boers, and the Afrikaners are Africans. You know, African Americans, Black Americans are not Africans. Haitians are not Africans. That's why they were rejected from the OAU. The former head of the OAU said Haiti is not African enough because they're not on the continent. So this is what they did when they got in there and they got their stooges and their puppets to change the definition of Africa. And then Black people say, "Oh, what was the sixth region?" The sixth region does not include African Americans because therefore you're going to have confrontation with the United States and Britain, right? The sixth region represents Africans like yourself, Judah, who left the continent through refugee situation, war, whatever, who reside in the West. You Africans who live in the West are the sixth region, not us. You know, so they basically stripped Black America of its historical connection with Africa because it was Black America, for the most part, who led the Pan-African movement, right? The people don't realize it was an ANC.
Yeah, but the point is, what are you guys doing to restore back being involved in it and the Caribbean?
I'm doing my can by building the connection with Liberia and Ghana and all these other countries. That's what we can do.
Absolutely. So Judea, we don't know about all these other people, but me and Kala shared with the people what we're doing, and we have more updates. But let me let my good brother John Crow. Greetings, brother. Welcome to Pan-Africanism towards nationhood. What's on your mind?
Greetings, Carla. Greetings, Bomani, and greetings to the other brother on the panel. You know, sometimes we beat up ourselves a lot, you know. Sometimes we beat up ourselves too much, you know, because we are always looking for a leader. Where's the leader? Who is the leader? This leader, where's the... Look, you don't need no charismatic leader because what they do, when you have a charismatic leader, they kill him or her. You need a charismatic program. That's what you need. And some of these Negroes know what the hell is going on, you know. They ain't that stupid, you know. You see, but when you drive through some of these projects here, some of these Negroes living good. They got color TVs, washing machine, all kind of stuff going on. So they ain't really motivated to make no move to Africa. They're living good in these projects. What the hell are they talking about? Telling about moving to Africa. But, you know, one thing that Garvey said, he said, when all else fail to organize the people, conditions will. And you see, conditions is going to get so bad in this country, it's going to drive these people to looking towards Africa. When some hunger pains start hit their ass, you see, then they're going to talk about, hey, you know, Africa is looking very promising. OAU, the AU, them people are a bunch of damn stooges. We all know that, you know, because look, how can these people who are just 1/10 or 1/9 of the world's population control, you know, the rest of the world? Because they recruit from the same people that they oppress. You see, these people recruit from the same group of people that they oppress. And being that we don't have an internal corrective force, internal corrective force to deal with these traitors. You see, because there is no punishment for these traitors. So, you know, you get rewarded for bad behavior. See, that's what's going on, you know. These Negroes, they do it here in America, they do it in the Caribbean, they do it in Africa. You get rewarded for bad behavior because we have no internal corrective force. There is no penalty to pay. So our traitors die of old age. We have to change that. If you're going to change the mindset of the people, you're going to have to change that. Let's hold hands and let's get together and all this bullshit, that ain't going to work. Okay, you got to do like where Mao Zedong do. You see where Mao Zedong do when he came to power? All them preachers, all them imams, all them bishops, all them people, he locked their ass in the dungeon and say, yo, when God come, I'm gonna sign your release. See? Yeah, and he had the cultural revolution. You see, they said, look, ain't no more this Beethoven, ain't no more this Strauss. It's gonna be some jing bang boom boom over here. We're gonna sing, we're gonna go totally Chinese. You see? But these antebellum, anti-black Negroes that we have posing as leaders, we have to deal with them. You see, are we gonna have to deal with them severely? Because let's hold hands, as I said, it ain't working. We running like wildebeest. Our people running like wildebeest all over the place. You see, and the traitor running rampant. We have to
Yes,
change that. That's
yes, my
that's
brother.
my little piece.
Yes, my brother. Appreciate your input and everything. Appreciate you. We just had somebody else on J-Line. You have any response to Jankro presentation? J-Line, you have to unmute yourself. All right, Judea, you have a response?
Yeah, I think the brother, I mean, he spoke good, especially when it comes to Mao Zedong, how he took out the preachers, imam, and bundled them up and put them in the dungeon, and that was a successful story. That's why Chinese are now they have their own religion, they have their own language, they have their own I mean they have carved their own economy system, and things are working out for them. One of the problem that I had with his statement was when he said blacks or FBAs or do not need a leader, because most of the leaders were killed by the West. I'm confused. Does that mean that we are weak? Does that mean that we are a weaker group of people? Does that mean that we can't protect our own people? Does that mean that does that mean that once they kill our leaders, we just accept defeat and just stay like that? It reminds me of, say, okay, your leaders have been killed, your parents have been killed. Do not do anything bad because your brothers will be killed as well. So I mean, that's some kind of inferiority complex. Um, I wish that I wish
No.
that we could still have leaders and protect them and show how fought we are, how strong we are. Because I mean, leaders being killed doesn't mean we should back down, right? Come up with leaders, put them there, protect them, and give them the powerful and the might, to overcome certain challenges that they have. So that's the only issue that I have with his statement. But apart from that, he did spoke well, man. I'll leave it right there.
Let me
Jankro, respond
respond.
what you say no about.
I said you need a charismatic program that if the leader drop out, somebody else will drop in. See, if you have a cadre of leaders, a cadre, so you don't have one leader, you have 100 people. So when one drop out, another man come in, and the thing still keep going on. See, that's what the error what that happened in the Garvey movement, because they realized, oh, it was only Garvey. So what they did, they plucked Garvey out of the equation, and everything fell apart. See? We have to have a cadre of leaders. It's a cadre. It's group leadership. It's not individual leadership. Even if you have the individual in there, you're right. You have to protect him. You have to surround him, because that is the way nature set it. If you look at the way the birds fly, right? There's a flock of bird, but there is that lead bird out there that when him dip, everybody dip. The same thing happened to a school of fish. You watch the fish, there is that lead fish out there, and everybody follow that lead fish. You see? But you're right in a sense. We have left our leaders unprotected, and they take them out. And we don't have a response when they take out our leaders. We don't have a response. We run and go, oh, we go pray and go cry. We're supposed to have a response to them people too. You see, because remember, you're dealing with violent people. These people, they tell you to be non-violent. But when they're dealing with other people, when that 9/11 happened, I didn't see them going out there talking about let's hold hands or let's talk about it. They went over there and took care of business. But when it comes to us, they tell us, oh, you know what? Don't be non-violent. Look, this non-violent stuff will get you killed. I'm done.
Yeah, that's you're right about that. And about to back to this thing about the African Union. The African Union is nothing but a branch office of the European Union, and now the Chinese development. That's all it is. It's a joke. I call it the African Union. I got suspended off YouTube for a whole day for putting that up there. I tried to put it in the asterisk Union. They still suspended me for a day. Because I said the African Union. Because this guy put a video out and said the African Union is absolutely useless. It is useless, It's a club of heads of state who are trying to protect their interests. There has not been anything sovereign. See, the OAU was going to succeed sovereignty, right? Countries agreed to succeed sovereignty. When you say we're going to have an African currency, right? You're conceding that portion of your sovereignty to that body. We're going to have the Lagos Plan of Action, a unified shipping, a railway transport, and economic development, right? You're conceding some of your sovereignty. The African Union does not concede any sovereignty whatsoever to member states. None. There's no peacekeeping force, nothing. Right now, there's 12 nations in the Congo right ready to go to war in Eastern Congo. Could be one of the bloodiest conflicts we've ever seen. Where's the African Union? It does not exist because there's no African Union for security force. Why? Who's going to command it? Who's going to do this? So it's a joke. The African Union is a joke. It's propped up by Negroes in the West. So the African Union, there must be no man. The white man. Don't you think the white man invested billions of dollars to prop up his? And that's why the ECOWAS is collapsing because the young people in West Africa, that part of West and South, say ECOWAS is useless. It's a tool of France in the West. So that's why ECOWAS is collapsing. As soon the African Union is going to collapse the same way.
Yeah, I mean that's fact, man. The way things are going, it just seems like there have been a lot of talking in the African Union, but we don't see no actions behind it. The one currency, nothing. The open border trade, nothing. The building, forming a military, African Union military bases around African countries. We have not seen that. Bringing a union between the Caribbeans and the African Union. I mean, we have not seen that with Black Americans. So it has just been a complete failure. Most of their sponsors are from the European Union and a lot of things like that. And even the African Union complex was constructed by the Chinese, where they implanted certain
Spies.
spy cameras and all of these things that could capture information and translate them to the Chinese Department of Security and stuff like that. So
You know everything that goes on in the African Union because it was an African guy who discovered that some data was going out to an outsource, right? He said, wait a minute, what's going on here? Come to find out, China got caught spying. And planted spies in the African Union. So they know everything that's going on, secret meetings, everything, computer data, everything routed to China. Everything. So, like I said, we don't, as a Black race, don't take ourselves seriously enough to put our foot down. And the biggest thing mistake they ever did was just make Africa about geography, not about race.
So
and Dr. Arcana, when she basically talks, so she always talks about colonialism. I watched her speech one time, it was like 25 minutes long. She didn't once mention the most thing that destroyed Africa the most was the transatlantic slave trade. She didn't mention that one time. You know, all she talking about is colonialism, but she's a beneficiary of colonialism. She's a beneficiary of things, because if you look at Africa, for the most part, it was Europeans who built modern Africa. So you can't say the problem with Africa is colonialism. The problem with Africa was 300 years of wars and gutting of the continent of its most precious resource, its human resources. So
So you think blacks around the world should be recolonized, like the guy that talk on the
no,
video
no,
where he said
no.
Africans and more Caribbean and most blacks should be, because they actually don't know what they are doing. You know, you think
First of all, when they create these governments, they set these governments up in Africa to fail. You know, they set these governments up to fail.
yeah, but ever since they left, Africans have not been able, or blacks around the world have not been able to take it to build things from scratch or change the
It's
system.
not meant to. It's not meant to do that, right? Your African countries are set up to. Africans don't even export their own stuff. It's Europeans that come in and export and extract from the continent, and they give Africans enough money to run their countries. Africa's real sovereign states are about protecting its borders and everything. Military. What did African military use for? To suppress the people and to protect Western interests.
So you're telling me that the new president of Liberia, Bouaké, was put in place by America, or the
No,
Liberians voted him in power?
Liberia was not colonized. That's a difference.
No, I'm
Liberia,
asking you. So why have Liberia not transformed if it wasn't colonized? I mean, they had wars like how many years ago, but still, I
because
mean, that was like
I'll tell
10,
you why.
20 years ago.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. One in the 1970s, Liberia was on top of Africa, right? And then when Liberia fell in 1980, all its diplomatic channels and everything collapsed. And the people that took over it, and the CIA did that. CIA did that, right? So therefore, Liberia became a de facto colony of America, and it was after the 1980 coup, because Liberia was a country in Africa that didn't have external debt. They paid their own stuff. They had their own way and everything like that. So when after that, Liberia became one of these countries that relied on the IMF, the World Bank, and stuff like that, and it was just back and forth between different radicals, stuff like that. If you take the brain away from the country, all the educated people fled the country and everything. That's what's going to happen, you know. And so therefore, Liberia has a chance, but you know, only time will tell, because you got to say something. Liberia was moving towards integration into Africa, you know. As Liberia became integrated into Africa, it understood a couple of things. These other countries in Africa did benefit from colonialism, and also there's things that they didn't benefit from. For example, in Liberia, you cannot just you don't have land issues like you do, let's say, in Zimbabwe. There are no white people that own farms and white settlements, stuff like that. Zimbabwe is still under sanctions. How come the African Union have not basically said, if you don't lift those sanctions in Zimbabwe, we're going to seize all the assets of Europeans on the continent and everything like that? We're going to do that. Before we talk about South Africa, Julius Malema, he should be talking about Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is a case study in the fact that of the injustice of Europeans on the continent. But no one talks about Zimbabwe. No one talks about that. Why? Because people feel powerless and they can do nothing about it. So why do you still have a relationship with France? I like what Burkina Faso is doing. They're fighting France tooth and nail to free their country. You know, I admire Ibrahim Traore, you know, that young man who's brilliant. You know, so there's a lot of hope, you know, and we realize now that a lot of these institutions that we grew up on, the African Union, the ECOWAS, even the Southern African Development Community, don't serve the interests of the people.
So Africa shouldn't be recolonized by the white man.
Africa can't be colonized. That's just a guy saying that, running his mouth. You know, how you got to understand something. When Africa was colonized, right? Europeans came there. 99% of the people couldn't read and write. So when Europeans came there and they did things like build roads, built schools, libraries, everything. Now Africans can do the things themselves. They got the internet, everything. How you going?
But things are not actually working. You say they are doing things themselves.
Yeah,
Things are they have not built
but not to the point
anything
where
that is
there's a
reliable.
billion. Hold on, there's a billion people in the country. His point was, if you cannot basically run your country and people coming to West, right now, right there on the U.S. border, there was a whole bunch of Chinese, 40,000 of them, that was at the U.S. border. Should we colonize China again? Should we colonize Pakistan again? Why Africa? Because people have this idea for whatever reason that Africans are weak, that we can just colonize them. And people don't realize that if you look at history, right, the West met its fiercest battle in trying to take West Africa. People think of Southern African Zulus. It was actually West Africa, because they and to this day there are no European settlements in West Africa. None. They were never able to plant their flag and settle in West Africa. There's no West Africa European settlements or cities. None. But they did settle in Southern Africa, Namibia, Zambia, and all these other places, in South Africa, in East Africa. There are no white settlements in West Africa. So when people think they're just going to colonize, West Africa was never colonized. West Africa has had what they call protectorates. That means you cede your sovereignty of your country, right? Nigeria sold their country for pennies and basically made deals with Europeans. And next thing you know, they're part of the British Empire, but they still govern themselves as they did. A colony is when you take a group of people, a country over, right? And you settle your own people there, right? And they become part of that country. That's different than a protectorate. A protectorate.
Yeah, I know what a protectorate is. I know what a colonization is. But I mean, in Africa,
This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. When he says colonize Africa, West Africa was never colonized, except for I think maybe Guinea, Bissau, I think may have been, you call it, or the Gambia, maybe, Senegal, because they speak all French, but it's still a protectorate. But with a heavy
but what you're talking about is if you take your sovereignty and give it to someone, it means that person has control over you. He has taken control. So that's colonization, because
But the thing is, in order for you to colonize a country, you have to settle there.
Yeah, but they settled. Most Europeans settled in Nigeria, in Cameroon, and all these
there was no
countries.
Europeans that settled in Nigeria, bro.
Yeah, but doing it, they left after. Most of them left after independence when they under.
Yeah, bro, there were Judah. There were Europeans that occupied and there, right, as administrators and business people in the palm oil industry.
Exactly.
But that was not, you know what colonization is? South Africa.
Of course, I mean, I'm from Africa. We study colonization, so they settled, but most of them left.
Let me ask you a question. The reason why the whites didn't leave in South Africa, because they actually settled there. That was colonization, because they built the country, they settled it. That was their home. It's just like America, right? America was basically a colony of.
Yeah, but if you go to Nigeria, you go to Cameroon, you have infrastructures that the white people used to live in, and then they left.
All right,
and it's still there. You could still see these things.
Same thing with Shanghai. Europeans settled there for a little while and everything like that, but they lost it, But what I'm saying is, though, you may have exceptions, right? Like, let me give an example. How many white communities were there in Lagos, Nigeria? None.
No, they have infrastructure. It doesn't mean, you have some places that they were staying, particular places that were very strategic, especially in strategic places. But after independence, most of them left West Africa. If you see the climatic condition as well, most of them did not live over there, like in the southern, Africa.
Judah, we talk about like the Ivory Coast. There was a lot of French people who left, right, because
Yeah.
there were small numbers. Now another issue was Angola, right, and we could thank the Portuguese for colonizing Angola for the most part because that was the weakest country in Europe, and we got Angola back full, everything paid in full. Now when Angola won its independence, right, the Angolans, the Portuguese tore up streets. They blew up pipelines. They blew up equipment on their way out. Same thing they did in Guinea, right? The French did in Guinea. But because you understand something, Judah, the Europeans, had it not been for World War I, World War II, yes, Africa would have been colonized. But the thing is, after World War,
Africa was colonized, man. This white guy was talking about recolonization.
yeah,
That
but
was what the white guy was talking about.
they had their chance after World War II, but they had to come back to Europe to rebuild Europe. You know, so therefore, that's the reason why they were weak.
Africa was colonized before the First World War. Most African countries were colonized in 1884, before the First World War happened.
No, Judah, no. Let me give you some history lesson. They made claims to Africa in 1884. They didn't start moving into their lands and actually settling until decades later.
Yeah, but they have colonized it in 18. That's why most African countries, when they went to the First World War, they were fighting on the side of their colonizers, their colonial power.
Why? Because the Africa was modernizing, and they basically just use Africa for its resources. One of the resources they use is the human resources. So you're
Carla, I should be the one giving you history lessons from Africa, but let's allow J Lion to say some
you have a different definition of colonization. You know, they occupied Africa, right? But colonization means you got to be large numbers of your people there. You got to control everything outright and everything, and you're the main.
So how did these countries speak the colonial language? I mean, because they were there to learn it.
African language. You know. There's no African language that was written. You know, the language of communication, it was always going to be English and French and Portuguese.
No, that was when the Europeans came and introduced their language, their religion, and most of these things.
But before that, there was no written languages in most of Africa.
No, in communities in Cairo, they had written language. In Ethiopia, they have their language. In Egypt, they have.
Ethiopia was not colonized or occupied. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't mean that because you don't have a written language, a colonial country comes over, they can use their language. And
if you have a written language, right, and you got books and everything. Now, let me give you an example, right? In northern Nigeria, they had highly educated people, books in Arabic and stuff like that. In Hausa, right? There's no European occupation of North Africa. That was a more protectorate aspect of it. North Africa.
What is the difference? Protectorate is called. Okay. Let's allow someone to go ahead now. I'll stop right there.
But you understand what I'm talking about? In northern Nigeria, they looked at northern Nigeria, saying nothing to see here. The British said, "Look, we're in charge of this." The emir said, "Okay, we're gonna do what we want to do," and this and the other. And they left. You know, so northern Nigeria has never had the presence of the British up there.
So was the Caribbean countries colonized, or were Black Americans colonized?
Well, Black America is basically in America, yes, a colony. You know, because we're living under a mother country, the United States. If you're going to call Black America, you can call us a colonial people, or you can basically say you're a citizen. Either one.
But you guys are still colonized, right, by the white man. You guys, it would have been better if you guys have your own country in the United States, like owning Alabama, so you can stand a force to move.
There's a problem with that, Judah. Is the fact
never
that
happened.
there's a thing called the Monroe Doctrine. You ever heard the Monroe Doctrine?
I heard of it, but you guys fought for assimilation. Assimilating with a white man.
Let me give you some education. What the Monroe Doctrine is, right? The Monroe Doctrine says that America's manifest destiny, right? The white man, the European on this continent of North America, right? Sees a shining sea. That means anything that threatens that right there in this hemisphere, the United States has a right to occupy. That's why the United States, being a superpower, is surrounded by poverty to this day in the Caribbean, Central and South America, everything. The Monroe Doctrine, right?
But that
Haiti
did
has
not
always
stop
been.
you guys. That did not stop you guys for fighting for independence, though.
Well, the bottom line,
You know.
you cannot fight for independence on land that's conquered and already occupied and built. You can't do
No,
that.
not now, but I mean now it could still the best time could still be now, but I'm talking about years back. Yeah,
Oh,
when Africans were fighting for.
do you know black people had built communities throughout America that were independent that were destroyed?
Yeah, they were defeated. Of course,
So,
that's
so
what
the
it
bottom
happens
line,
in Africa.
if
If
you
you
don't have
were,
look, there's never been a treaty between Black America and this government. We've never had an army. We've never had any sort of recognition because let me tell you something, Judah. You know, the Monroe Doctrine means that European powers recognize their absolute sovereignty over its territory. That means, let's say we had a piece of Florida, right? And it happened, right? Black people tried to secede from the United States or part of sections of Florida and that part of Florida, Georgia, and everything. Black people tried to secede that territory from the United States. The United States came in there and put an end to that. And no superpower came to our aid because of the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine said we're not going to interfere in anything where the United States claims sovereignty.
yeah,
And
Carla, I'm gonna let you. You don't have no clue about colonization. Even the whole African country, apart from Ethiopia, was all. Even Algeria was all embedded with French. Go ahead. Let's allow Jay Lion to at least say something. Selassie, go ahead.
but the bottom line is, I think when you talk about colonization, right? You're talking about you to ask a question about recolonization, right? I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's going to ever. It's never going to be like a Europeans who are going to come and take over a country. That's not happening again. And I think and I think that as far as colonialism, I think that it's different types of forms of colonialism. Like America is a colonial country in a sense because you have uh, the people come and we call it replace the original people and they just take over. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically a settler colony like America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. You know, so basically, they're just basically colonies of Europe, in my opinion. So it's kind of in a sense that and that's what happens. So, and as far as the topic, what do you call it?
Yeah,
This reparation stuff. I mean, even even if we do get reparations or get all this different types of stuff, even if it did happen, right? It's not going to change the whole thing. So I mean, because the money is the corporation is going to get the money, or black folks, or they're going to go invest it in the motherland, do all this type of stuff, where it is that it's going to do. And I'm thinking that black folks would never have any real political power in America, in a sense that because even you have like a black president or whatever, he's going to be the president for America, not just Black America. This is not, black. I mean, America is not a black country, so it's and it's and I think that like 14% of the population, so no real political power, in America. So and you're a U.S. citizen. You're citizen of this place. It's not. The place is called the United States of America, not the United States of African American or Black America. So a lot of this stuff is fantasy. Is getting this political power here in America. That's not happening. So, and I think that and that's the only reason where as far as like Pan African, is the most practical way because you have to have a place outside of the West, right? A black country. Yeah, you you're not gonna get any power in a white man's system because the system was never designed for you to begin with. So to me, it's just foolish. Huh? You just bumping against a wall. And I think that yeah, I think that's the problem. So it's this whole ADOS and LBA and all this nonsense and stuff is just basically just begging a white man to do something for you. and basically depending on the white man to do stuff. And like even though like these countries and all this stuff was in Africa, right? A lot of them are like we're kind of we call it made up because of Berlin Conference and some of these borders when it wasn't even there. And you look at some of the leaders, some of these leaders are basically puppets of the West that's selling things out. So those people are not even real leaders. Those people are basically were put in positions, by the West. So it's not like it's not like what do you call it? It's not Lumumba or Thomas Sakir Thomas the real Pan Africans. Those people got killed off, assassinated. So that's a joke. So the whole black race, is in a sense, is we call it or not really totally liberated yet, huh? Liberation. And I remember what you call it the guy named Stokely Carmichael, formerly Kwame Ture, his book Pro Black to from Pro Black to Pan African, and he was out and he was telling the white person, he's like, well, you can't have peace without you can't be liberated and have peace at the same time. Or it was a clip, and he was saying that like basically he said, oh, having peace and stuff and being having peaceful, that's the European. We need liberation. I'm saying, if you liberate, if they can't coexist, So he was like, to get peace, you have to be liberated. And so basically that was his statement. So a lot of these guys that were thinkers in the black world, right? There's not really a lot of those, type of people around as much like, was back in those days. And like you were saying, they're like, and it's a lack of what we call looking at the bigger picture, real critical thinking, understanding of geopolitics. This is lost in the black world. Like Kali, you you said it yourself. People just come on YouTube, not read nothing. They're not well read. They say any dumb foolery. Yeah.
And what do you think about my assertion that I don't see black? Remember years ago, you had Jay Morrison. Remember that Tulsa Black Wall Street? Everything was about do for self, buy black, buy the block, and everything like that. How come no one talks about that anymore, Jay Lion?
I don't know, man. People, I don't know. I think people are caught up with this celebrity crap and this this ADOS thing. All these things are the distractions, right? Black America likes to get caught up with a lot of distractions and foolery, and just getting caught up in a lot of emotionalism and not really getting things done. And I think that we're just it's just the real insight and fortitude of like it's just kind of just dead, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like zombies. And I think that that real fire revolutionary spirit is just like it's been killed off. It's almost in a sense that, and I think that a lot of these people are just I don't know, man. It's just a lack of consciousness that's around. Like because when you look at conscious people, they're caught up in metaphysics, come up from Kemet mess and going back to all this other crap and just living in fantasy world and not really ain't never even spent a day in Africa, right? We so-called like black conscious hustlers and stuff like that, and they don't even know they having some fantasy of African culture. They don't know nothing about it. They're like never been to the continent, having some stuff going on in ancient Egypt and all this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So it's they're not looking at the things on the ground, huh? You know, they're not real Pan-Africanists. Huh? You know, they're not making connection to the continent. You know, they're not you know, like you guys are trying to do things in the ground or interacting. You know, really looking at things. So I think that's the problem.
Yeah, we got people out there. You know, what's changed over the years was we used to be about black power, building black businesses, $1.4 trillion thing. And then I remember they were trying to refute the idea that Black America don't have $1.2 trillion. Yeah, they back in the 1954, that's 70 years ago, they said the spending power of the Negro, selling to the Negro. Remember that Bomani that selling the Negro? $25 billion, they said Black America generate. That was in the 1950s. That was more, America realized that it could sell to Black America and make more money, right, than it could if with all of us trading partners combined. You had an internal people in this country that you could sell to. Everything from cars to cereal to hats, everything. It was a documented how to sell to the Negro. That was 70 years ago. It was at $25 billion. Now it's at $1.4 trillion that America generates from us, right? Everything from the gas we buy to the cars we buy to the houses we buy to everything like that. So we're a big, huge spending block in America. And then the people basically that argue for, okay, say, how do we turn that money into Black American hands and everything? Because everybody else is getting rich off us, right? Everybody else is getting rich off us and everything. How do we organize our community so we can spend that money with us? Because we're capable of generating that money inside of America. So all we need to do is spend at least half of that money with us, and we could be on our way. Along comes people telling us, no, we got to get money from reparations. We don't have enough money. I refute the fact that that Black people have spending money. Black people are poor. No, Black people are not poor in America. We're just, some of us are broke. You know, the difference between being poor. Poor means you have no chance of having money, you know? No chance of anything. No chance of thing like that. Broke means this is temporarily. You know, so bottom line is this. The FBA, ADOS movement, right, hijacked the reparations movement. Instead of basically saying we're going to continue with ADOS FBA empowerment of Black America, we're going to talk about Black businesses. You never hear ADOS FBA talk about Black business. Never. They won't even flatter me by even talking about that in the chat. Watch even the ADOS FBA people in the chat right now. None of them say I support Black business. Because they don't. They always use reparations as a way of saying, I'm going to get reparations because we deserve it and the Black immigrants don't. So reparations is going to give you an identity that you're a descendant of slaves and you deserve something. So therefore you can say to the Black immigrant, I got this and you don't or not. That makes me special. They've lost the idea of a Black empowerment. Black empowerment has to come from within. That has to come from that's the hard work of us building together, you know, buying together and stuff. You know, the ADOS FBA movement, they don't want to be part of that, you know. And this ADOS guy in the chat, I'm not American. Funny enough, so I've been here my whole life. I have many generations here in both North Carolina and New York and Georgia. So I don't know where you're. I'm glad you're telling me that I'm not born in America because that's all I know. You know, any other time you don't agree with these idiots, you're a tetherer. You're this. These people are crazy. They're sick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, these people are it just tells you the amount of insanity that goes on in here in America. So it's insane culture, man. So I think that you know, in a sense that you're right. You know, it's just all about consumerism. Like America is a very consumer type of culture. You're not having no ownership. Black folks didn't have no ownership here. You know, here in America, in the plantation of America, right? They don't have no, and basically having we call any type of ownership, and I think that
We have ownership, but we have individual ownership.
that's what I'm saying. Individual,
we don't
yeah,
have
small
collective
business,
ownership.
small business, but like no, we're like corporation, you know, like
We don't
who
have
would,
we can't just say you see that city that 2 square two square blocks of Las Vegas. Those are black corporations that run those casinos, own the casinos on those that 1 square block of Las Vegas. We don't have ownership like that. We make billions of dollars for the NFL, right? I think there's a black lady that's the president of an NFL team, but for the most part, we can't get black ownership and parity in the NFL. After all this talk with Colin Kaepernick and everything, we still don't have any real ownership in the NFL. You know, the NBA, all this stuff like that. We generate billions of dollars for these people, and we have really no ownership. We should be controlling stuff.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Even though there's what you call it, you know, billionaires. Was I think that guy was it something Robert something F Smith or something like some black billionaire. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he's a
that
billionaire. I have nothing against Robert Smith because he gave $40 million to the graduates of Morehouse. You know, $40 million to get them started in life, paid off their student loan debts and everything. So I got nothing against Robert Smith. We got black people who are making it. They got billionaires. But the whole thing is collectively as a race.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Individually, it don't mean much and stuff. You know, on a collective level, and having geopolitical power, different types of things. I think that's the thing. So, and that's how what Pan-African does. And
Yeah, we have to
you know,
basically
we need a power.
We have to make Pan-Africanism and what we call Pan reality.
Yeah. And I'm thinking that you're gonna have to have power outside of a white system. Right? I just don't see it. I don't see you being inside of a system like this. And you know what I'm saying? You need, and just like China, right? China has, Chinese people all over the world, but they got a base outside of America.
We said the idea of an Afrikstan. We need
so I think that so I think that that's the way. So I think that
bottom line is as soon as one of these African countries wake up and realize that, geez, you got 45 million people here that generate $1.5 trillion dollars a year that now getting into buying stocks, now getting into crypto, now getting. We've seen with the crypto. Remember a couple of years ago, to my point. Remember everybody was getting into crypto and Bitcoin mining and stuff like that, making money and stuff like that. What happened to all this stuff? Somebody came up with the idea that we should focus on reparations and shame black people. Call, oh, you're a capitalist. You're this, but so we just sit around in a huddle every day, talk about reparations.
Yeah, and I think even Malcolm. I remember, Malcolm X was trying to create the AO thing and unity or something like that. And
Organization African, Afro-American Unity.
Yeah, and I think that what he was saying that you can't hate the root, and I think that Malcolm X, if he was around, he'd be like, what the hell is this FBA 8 Austin? I mean, he'd be, he wouldn't be with all that, huh? And I think that with Malcolm X, he recognized that like forced integration, right? He was like, no, this is not going to work. This force, and basically he understood that, like, where he's like, oh, well, won't these people, black folks have these business? You can hire your own people, and he was talking this stuff, way before I was, I was even thought of, So I was thinking that, and like, like that's the type of mindset, that we need, and he recognized that Africa was a true, a true player in this thing, in the diaspora. So when because like like you were saying, this is the whole world is like a race war, right? So like you were saying, in the sense that each racial group is going to be looking out for themselves, like the Asians, the Arabs, the Europeans. This whole thing is all about about that, right? Because when the Europeans came, right, they created this thing race, because it used to be all this ethnic groups and you're this, and like okay, you're white, you're this, you're black, or whatever. They created these things, and like you don't see, like, I mean, even though you do have like the Eastern Europeans and Western Europeans might have problems with each other, but you don't hear like, oh, I'm just from this white tribe, or this. No, you just white. We in here in America. Oh yeah, I'm from this fighting all over the place. Oh yeah, I'm Irish, I'm Scottish, and all this. All this. You don't be hearing all this crap, man.
And we have the audacity to call ourselves equals to the white man. He saw this. You're Irish Catholic. This years ago through education, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're a minority group in America, and we don't have any real power. Even when we do money and power and whatnot, we're always second fiddle to white people in this country, right? White people invite people from all over the world. They said, we trust that you're going to see things our way. You may be Syrian or Lebanese, but you're going to see things the white man's way in America as soon as you get here. And they say, okay, I'll play along with this white thing. I'm going to ride this white thing out a little bit. But in America, we have not built the sort of infrastructure in America because we can't build it here. It's not going to build here. It's never going to happen here, for us. So therefore, the immigrants
Yeah,
come in.
it's not gonna happen because you don't have a land, you don't control anything. The white man controls. This is the kind of things that the Africans were facing back when they were colonized. They couldn't do anything because the guy that was doing the negotiation was a person above you, and that's how it is in America. If an African president is coming to United States, they are gonna do business with the guy that is at the top. It's not gonna be
Now, let
an
me ask you,
African
Judah, let
American.
me ask you a
So
question. What if
if
an African goes to a city like Pittsburgh, right, where you got the McKinsey group, black group, right, that basically controls like a lot of the building of the infrastructure and everything, and they want to do contracting and stuff like that, they're gonna have to deal with black people on top. What's your opinion on that?
I really don't know about Pittsburgh.
No,
Um,
even in Detroit, in these
eh,
cities that black people still, for the most part, we go.
yeah, but I mean, when you kind of see the environment, man, the boss at the top is not gonna be a black person. They might be the ones doing the
No,
things.
Judah. I live here on the East Coast of the United States. We got
Yeah,
black
but
people.
who's the governor of Michigan though? That's the person that when you
Yeah,
go to Michigan or Detroit,
but the governor of Michigan is nothing. You got cities like Lansing and stuff like that that got huge black populations. They got old
right?
black
I used
women,
to
you know.
I used to live in Ellendale, close to Grand
So
Rapids.
like here on the East Coast of America, right here, when you go and the top businesses here, engineering firms, banks, everything, you see black people that run these things.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying, when an African president comes here in the United States, he is not going to all these places. He is meeting the boss of America, who controls it.
But that's not
The
that's not
person.
necessarily
I-
true.
If if
When
you
you
had, let me finish. If you had a country that you had a person at the top who is a black man, you had Alabama, Mississippi, and you had a person that was black, that you guys elect your own leader. If an African president was coming here, that's the person he's gonna meet, and then pass his information, and that information can be shared around. Now, an African president cannot come to United States and want to pass an information to black people. There is no way he can wish. I mean, he can wish you
Now
guys.
let's
So
be honest, Julius. Let's say this. Let's not all lost because every last single African president, when they come to America, they got to check in with the Congressional Black Caucus. There's usually a groundswell. I remember a few years ago, right, that African countries. I mean, perfect example of what I'm talking about. a friend of mine, Mr. Vember, he's Angolan, right? And he's an older gentleman, right? He's an elder, he's an older gentleman, right? He lived in Philadelphia for a couple of decades, right? And he's got a lot of friends and everything. He was asked by the Dos Santos government to basically make connections over there because they wanted a loan from George W. A simple $10 million loan, right? And so basically, Mr. Bemba told me that he had to go and meet with black politicians and everything in Philadelphia and stuff like that to get audience with them because the government of America was not taking Angola seriously, or whatever, like on any level. You know, it's better now that you have African countries that, well, not individually, but multilaterally, we could come to America and make a case, whatever like that. But individual African government had really no chance with the United States government on any level. So basically, long story short, he met with George W. Bush and them, and they basically turned them down for a loan because I don't know, whatever, right? Turned them down for a loan. And then he went to China and got the loan, and Angola is booming to this day. And so my point I'm trying to make is it's not like African. We've always hosted African leaders. When they came to America, they went to Harlem. They stayed in black hotels, stayed in black communities, and everything. When President Tubman came to America in the 1950s and everything like that, he stayed in. It was segregation at the time. He had to stay in a black-owned hotel in Atlanta. You know, so it's not like it's this. So therefore, let's not downplay the significance of Black American power and achievements in America. We just need more power and more focused power, you know? So it's not like you're going to come to America and just bypass Black America. It don't work like that. You know, all the stuff you see, just like last year half ago, when all these African heads of state came to America and was hosted by the mayor of New York. It was a stupid fiasco, but the point was made that Black America has a lot of influence in the Black world. You still come to America without dealing with Black America. It's not like that. We're not just sitting around. Oh, yeah, you come. It's not like that. Every African smart head of state comes to America, and the first thing he's going to do is meet with Black leaders in America. That's the first thing they do. You know, it's always been like that, and always will be
Yeah,
like that.
Tyler, you still don't get it. I mean, what I was saying is, if I'm coming over to do business, maybe I might meet one or two individual, African Americans that are into business, quite all right. But if you trying to negotiate a deal that you can have an influence, I mean, that can cause a bigger deal between two countries. They cannot do it with you.
Listen,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I
You have
mean,
to understand something. There are no significant major deals between America and Africa. There's none. America does not have that sort of investment in Africa like that. It don't happen. It's not like you're going to come, a Cameroonian is going to come to America. So I got a deal for you, America. It's not going to happen. You know, there's not enough that America could justify going to the continent of Africa. There's no major investment. America really has no major investments on the continent.
A lot of people try to pretend like America is Europe. Like I don't know why they do that. Europe is the one who's all in Africa. Europe is the one who
America is not in Africa like that.
Yeah, they consider the West one huge big blob. So now that everyone knows that Europe is in Africa, you got European mining companies, oil companies, etc. But they see that Europe is in Africa, and they see the European stronghold in Africa, and they think that America does the same thing. When the United States never really cared about Africa, it didn't even care about Liberia.
It does not care about Africa at all. So all America does is, and the only country in Africa America really significant was South Africa. That was the only country in Africa America really had any significant investments in. For some regions, a cultural thing. America is all about and see the shining sea, spanning from the East Coast, West Coast. America is more interested in its hemisphere and its Pacific. You know, America is not interested in the South Atlantic at all. There's no trade routes, nothing that links America. America goes through the Suez Canal. Now, if something happens to the Strait of Hormuz and Suez Canal, things could change.
For sure. And
Right now,
another reason why America doesn't have a real interest in Africa is because America isn't like Europe. Europe is a resource depleted continent. America is a country that almost the size of a continent, and we got a lot of resources here. Just because Europe is poor and doesn't have any resources doesn't mean that the United States doesn't have any natural resources. We got a lot of gold, we got a lot of oil,
silver, we got everything here.
Now we don't always use it all because it's smarter to preserve your own resources.
We got everything here in America. Also, Mexico. Mexico has a lot of natural resources too. We got huge coastlines, everything like that. So America produces most of its oil needs and everything until Biden shut that down. But America produces most of its oil, everything. So there's nothing really America needs in Africa, like that. So that could be a game changer. Because America could actually formulate a policy of, if Africa came to the table with something substantial, America could be a game changer. If you break America away from America's thing was always funding Europeans and Africa, right? If you want to develop the Congo, you go to the Wall Street banks, and America would back up to save the interest in Africa. Same thing with Asia. America bankrolled Saigon. That's why I was in Vietnam. We bankrolled Saigon for the French, the pearl of Southeast Asia. America really never had any direct investment. America only provided the capital for these countries to do business in Africa. America never had any directive. So an African coming to America, talk about, I want to do some high level deal. Judah, please stop,
All right, man. I'm gonna let you guys, man. I'm in the middle of work, so it was nice talking to you on Bomani. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No, I think.
All right, brother. Well, good talking with you. Take care. Yes, Kyla, we're down to 30 minutes, brother. Let's see if we can wrap it up.
Yeah, what was the brother G-Star? Go ahead, continue what you were saying, brother.
No, I was gonna say two things. I did think Judah have a point about African leaders not I want to say, I don't want to say checking in, but connecting with Black Americans when they come here. George Weah did come here. He had a secret meeting with the CIA, or was it the FBI? He had some secret meeting with some intelligence agency in the United States. They flew George Weah out before his administration ended, and maybe it was a secret thing. So maybe he wasn't trying to connect with anybody because he was just there on strictly that business. But he was here in 2023, or 2023
with Denzel Washington. He's been with like Black celebrities and stuff like that. There's no African comes over here in America because America does not have any real. Only group of people that really deal directly with America for the most part is probably Nigerians, and that's because of the oil sector, But for the most part, there's no Africans like, well, we're gonna make a deal with America. What does America have to do with Cameroon? Come on.
I did want to ask you this one question though. It's a little bit off topic, but I'll string it into what we were all talking about. You was talking about like America would be a game changer for Africa if it weren't so invested in the interests of Europe. I think if, God forbid, I don't want it, but if Hispanics become the majority in the United States, they would be able to break ties between.
That would be a game changer. Yes.
Now wait. Let me ask you my question though. My question was, how do you think a Hispanic majority America would affect Black Americans?
Well, if you really look at it, right, when you look at Hispanics and everything like that, and you talk to them and everything like that, many people are very empathetic. I don't buy the idea that everybody's out to get us, right? Hispanics are very, very empathetic, especially when you talk about black people and stuff like that, in Africa, right? White America is still trying to find itself, right? They think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So therefore, if the British say that Zimbabwe is taking the land from them, right? The average white American is going to go along with it. See what I'm talking about? Now, if the Hispanics were in power in America, right, they'll say, why do we got sanctions on Zimbabwe? You see what I mean? They're more likely to be sympathetic or empathetic to our cause.
So I even take apathy. I can't pronounce it right, but if they was apathetic, if they just left Africa alone, like whether for better or for worse, if they was just apathetic or just not interested in that.
That's not gonna happen. As long as like let me give you an example. I think things are starting to change right now. Remember during the after 9/11, George W. Bush, that idiot, said that we got to invade Iraq and Afghanistan and stuff like that, and the French opened their mouth and saying, no, it's not right, whatever like that, because I think they had interest in Iraq, whatever like that, and everybody there was this anti-French. I don't know how old you are, but that was like 20 something. Well, damn, a long time. I'm so old I am, man. There was an anti-French backlash in America. Everybody started dumping French wine, said they weren't going to eat French toast. And that weakened France in many ways, because that also translated to America's support for French interests in other parts of the world. You see what I mean? So therefore, and even to this day, right, because of that, France is going in and condemning America for the Iraq invasion. There's a lot of ill will towards France. That's why America is slow to help France in the Sahel right now. So things do change over the years.
Heck yeah, I hear you. But shoot, man, I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know why. Okay. So you acknowledge that the Hispanics didn't come over here and gain political power. Why do Pan-Africanists say that Black Americans, can't build infrastructure? Firstly, I'm tired of everybody saying that we don't have nothing. Kala, we got a lot of stuff. Yeah, we don't.
We just don't use it.
I think the problem is that we don't support what we have. Like we got black. I mean, like for example, everybody's talking about, oh, we need to build Black Wall Street again. Skip rebuilding Black Wall Street from scratch. If you want a Black Wall Street so bad, we got a whole bunch of Black majority towns and a whole bunch of Black majority cities and counties that, like, even if you're not a builder like that, simply living in that town or at least visiting, and paying some taxes, even like some sales tax, go shopping there or something, that'll contribute a lot. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff, like we got schools.
Not organized. To my point of the show tonight, G-Star, I said that we were on our way to doing that, but then what happened was this reparations movement happened, and everybody just gave up on all that and just started talking about reparations. Nobody's talking about that. By talking about that, shaming Black people, pushing Black people to invest in Black business, buy Black, download the Black-owned business apps, and support Black-owned business, was doing a tremendous lot. We were on our way. There was a Buy Black movement, Black investment clubs, and all stuff like this. And right away now with the ADOS, FBA, and the reparations movement, that's all dead. Everything's dead. No one talks about that stuff anymore. Maybe because people got money, a little bit of money in their pocket. Because they got a little bit of money in their pockets, and the community be damned. But it's how Hispanics, they don't care how much money they have. They keep building. Other people keep building. It's never enough. It's never enough for them.
Yeah, we need to get our economics back on track. But I don't know much about the crack epidemic. You probably know more about it than me. But I feel like hardcore black nationalism, even though it was Pan-African centric back in the 70s, 60s, and 50s. I feel like, but they was literally building stuff. They was building more stuff than like half of the people building today. I blame like the FBI, CIA, and the crack epidemic for kind of ruining our community.
I mostly blame us because what we don't do is we don't really want to love ourselves enough to build and whatnot. So somebody comes up, let me give you a perfect example, right? You know, instead of us cleaning up black music and black culture and everything, Beyonce has made a beeline to the country music. You know, she's trying to appeal to a white audience, a redneck audience, and everything like that. What's the sense? Our love is not good enough for you? Everybody wants to do their own thing nowadays, and nobody's considering about the community anymore. Nobody cares. You know, so like I said, this ADOS FBA movement, the reparations movement is all destructive. And we get back into black building, black communities, black investments, and all stuff like this. We start talking. They made us ashamed. Oh, you're a racist. And you talk about black empowerment, empowerment, and everything like that. You know. Hey, Bomani, Amara wants the link. You want to get him on?
He can he can scroll up. It's in the chat too. But I'm sure Bomani
he's being retarded. But yeah, so let him come on so he can share what he wants to share.
Yeah,
because I am not trying to do this whole weekend. So there you go, Amara. And looking to make this nice and short and efficient. So go ahead, Kala.
Yeah. So the bottom line in our culture is, you know, we've gone astray, and I want somebody to come on here and tell me how I'm wrong. I don't see nobody anywhere, and all that. Black people used to be apolitical in America. We didn't give a damn who was in the damn White House. Whatever happened to that? We didn't give a damn who was up there in the White House. All we was about building ourselves, building our families, and kicking among ourselves. Now it's like, damn, you know, we got to get this guy out of office. This guy, you know, we can't vote because he's against reparations. Nothing on the table about black empowerment, and nothing on the table that we're going to benefit from. And who I feel sorry for is the black people, the black people who really got ideas how to build and everything. They can't get orders because you ain't going to support. No one's going to support them. You got black people, business people say, look, if I get this factory over here, I can rehab this factory. I can create jobs and make money and everything like this. You can't get an audience with black people. They'll call you a capitalist. Oh, you're a capitalist. You're blah, 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 blah. So how are we supposed to do anything? Well, they need to pay us reparations. The lazy the ignorant people, and the people like that have taken over and hijacked our movement with this stupid reparations nonsense. You cannot be about real black empowerment and waste your time talking about reparations. Do it on your spare time. Don't get online talking about it. Everything online should be about how we could build our communities. How can we make safe black communities more? How can we stop regentrification and all stuff like this? And buying up real estate. How can we come together and buy up communities and everything like that, and put money back in our communities? If you're not talking about that, you're not talking about anything to me.
Hello.
What's going on, Mara?
Yes, sir. Greens Amara. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, I see where Carla is coming from. You see, the problem is this whole FBA movement. If they're the same way they look up to Tariq Rashid, if it's the same way they look up to Yvette Cornell, it would have been better, because to me, Yvette Cornell is the one that really has a plan for reparation if you're going to go down that road. You know, all Tariq Rashid is doing to me is just cloud chasing. You ask Tariq Rashid right now, let me do you have a program in which a roadmap in which they can walk their way towards reparation? He don't have it. Yvette Cornell is a smart one. But that aside, Pan-Africanists need to do what they need to do. If you're looking towards the globe, because this is a tipping point in America. The Hispanics are already the second majority. Although they don't look at them as Americans, they don't have any historic thing to hear. These guys have a program which they have kids like crazy. Their population is going up.
Beyond.
You see what I'm saying? Then you can see when Biden came into power, the priorities change. Now, black people, they take black people for granted, black votes for granted. What Biden do? Biden focusing more on immigration. He focusing more on gays. He focusing more on Asians. That lets you know at the back of his mind.
The way you say it, he's focused on gays.
On gays.
The way he says that shit, gays.
Well, that's it. They're the ones he focus on. You see what I'm trying to say? But that let you know what? That let you know he's taking the black vote for granted. You really look at it. When I moved back to the United States, like it was in '96, the black was after whites, it was black. Even though they had 12% of the population, it was black. Hispanics came over and still they don't consider them as Americans. But if they got a back door through the wall, you know, they're coming in. And look, I was looking at a story that Chicago mayor refused to give them any kind of help. But these dudes have a clear-cut plan to come in, not to add, but to multiply. And 10 years down the road, we're going to be looking at like, oh, yeah. Once upon a time, black people had a shot. They had a white man's ear. A white man was taking them serious about reparation. White man was everything that black people do, the white man takes for granted. It's taking it for granted right now that it's lockstep. 99% of black people are going to vote Democrat. So they don't think, well, we don't do the best we can do for them. Let's focus on other people. That's the attitude. So if black people do not reinvent themselves, because after a little while, things get stale. You got new leaders and new focus and reinvent yourself so the people can take you serious. You got to go from 1.0 to 2.0. You know? What you're looking at Tariq Rashid as the new set of black leaders. The man doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a plan for reparation. He's talking all this junk or whatever. Do they have an institution set up?
Nope.
For reparation? Do we have
ADOS does, but FBA is like I rock with FBA. I use
what
it.
I'm
but
saying is, listen, if you want to compare the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X and all the civil rights leaders, you know, that's the barometer, bro. That's the standard. You want to hit the standard or exceed the standard. These guys don't not even scratch the surface, bro. The standard don't fall down way down. You have people, you know, civil rights people going out there, they're shooting guns at them. Civil rights people doing whatever you need to do to get everything done. You know, you compare those people to these people, these so-called leaders nowadays, bro, it's night and day. It's night and day. So if you want to go down that road, you got to be ready. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and all the people, they set the standard. If you want to do, you got to meet the standard or exceed the standard. If you want to go down that route, not to sit down on the internet talking all kinds of junk. You got to go all out. That's what I'm trying to say. But the more the white man is weighing you on a scale. It'd be like, okay, any generation, after any other generation is going to die down. That reparations are going to die down. They're fighting testosterone or whatever. They're fighting whatever as a group. It's gonna die down because now more black people are more individualistic than there's a community. So the white man is playing a long game. It'll be like generation after generation. That thing will go away. You see,
And
that's what
also,
they're looking
Amara,
at.
he would much rather us fighting for reparations than doing real black empowerment and Pan-African nation building and infrastructure, because that could leave us tangible stuff, behind.
Yeah,
The reparation movement, sitting around talking about reparations and everything. My young brother, G-Star, well, he's a young guy, you don't understand. It's a waste of time. I mean, when you're young, you got time on your hands, I'm
yeah.
telling you right now, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time doing stuff. And it's basically all it does is Yvette Carnell is on record saying she does not believe in black empowerment. She said she does not believe in do for self. She does not believe in it. And so people said Tariq jumped on the bandwagon. I'm gonna show y'all how to get reparations, everything. Why? Because it's easy to talk about reparations than to actually talk about building black business. Back in the 90s, man, black people were reading magazines like Black Enterprise magazines.
What happened? What happened to Black Enterprise magazine?
It's
Jet,
still out there, but nobody's
Ebony,
interested no more.
Ebony.
Nobody's
As an
interested in
African,
that stuff no more.
let me
Nobody
tell you,
cares.
as an African, where I got respect for you guys is through those magazines. And I was all the way in Africa. It was big among the intellectual community back there. My dad was a professor. All his peers had Ebonies and Jets. When they read their magazines, he was lying around. That's when we, the kids, picked up the magazine after they don't read it and did whatever. It was the old editions. We were the one. That's what we, the kids, was reading. But we marvel at the women. We marvel at the achievements. We marvel at everything. But in the 90s, it was the best time. But these guys just lost their way. There's no more community. And the white man's playing a long game. I'm telling you, man. He's looking at it that the generations down the road are not going to be as vigilant as the civil rights leaders. They're not going to go all the way and sacrifice like the civil rights leaders. They're thinking of self. You see what I'm saying? So down the road, they're going to look at it and like, man, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything for these people, man. The kids. Look at how, and they got a consistent plan. Look at how they brought, they take the black man out the home, put him in prison. They introduce gays, they legalize gays into the community. All that to break the black family structure. They empower black women. Now they don't have a man. All the tools they're using to break the entire black family, because which is the bedrock of the civil rights movement. If they're going to put up any resistance towards the white rule, it's to the black family. They broke it down. So now they don't broke it down. Now everybody's thinking individually. Now the second set of game is like, well, generations down the road, these kids, their grandkids will remember nothing about civil rights. Just don't worry about it. It's a long time game. It's the same thing if you're going to learn from the Chinese. If you learn anything, learn from the Chinese. The Chinese, when Bill Clinton came up with this thing, World Trade Organization, when the Soviet Union, the biggest competition to America was the Soviet Union. So now they say everybody's supposed to be a democratic country. Now everybody America opened up their markets to everybody. So they told everybody, listen to me. America tell everybody, listen to me, you'll be prosperous like me. Listen to me, I'll be better than you. What the Chinese do? They did a little bit. They had their own plan behind the plan. They were banking on, by now, China will be a democracy. All the communists will be gone, and all the communism is the enemy. Communism will be gone, and the Communist Party will be gone, and there will be a new Japan. They'll just be like us. That's how the white man plays the game. But now the Chinese turn the way around. You see what I'm trying to say? The white man plays a long game. They're looking at generation after generation.
Yeah,
they say, but these dudes are going to fail.
They got decades in the making. Black people, we only think what's in front of us, We can't see no further than our nose. for the most part. All we think about what's in front of us. The white man has this all planned out and everything. And I do believe this ADOS FBA stuff like that is a long-term plan to divide the black world under these stupid terms, tether. Now people in the chat room call me a Caribbean tether. Bomani, I did not know I was from the Caribbean. I didn't know that, Jeez, and you learn something new every day. I'm from the Caribbean now, They said we're kicking you out of the black. You can't kick me out of what I am, You kick him out of black just because you don't talk. The ADOS FBA people are the lowest rungs of black America. They're the lowest rungs of black America, They're just trash. All they want to do is divide people. The Caribbean have never did anything to you. The African has never did anything to you. Amara and I have had battles on this show over the years. Where I love this brother. He's my Temne Sierra Leone brother. And I accept him as part of my community. And so therefore, like I said, we're gonna be the bigger man and say, look, if you reach your hand out in brotherhood and friendship, I'm gonna stick my hand out even further and welcome you in. That's how we're gonna survive in the future.
Yeah. The people that want to be around each other and work together will have to come together. That's all.
Because we all have differences. We have our tribes. We have our like that. But when the bigger picture happens, these Hispanics, they're playing for keeps. The Asians are playing for keeps. The whites are playing for keeps. We're the only stupid people on the planet. I'm not gonna curse my people stupid, but we do some stupid stuff, with this stupid bickering back and forth over tribal. And you ain't got two dimes to rub together. Why don't we get some money and some power and then fight over that? You're fighting over a would-be reparations check. Are you stupid? They ain't getting my reparations check. You ain't getting a reparations check either. How about that? I got a PhD in Negroology. There's nothing I don't know about the Negro. Utter foolishness. Now Janko says he wants a reparations check. Man, we might have to take up a clutcher for brother Janko, right? Janko, man, if I become a millionaire one day, bro, I got you.
So ask Jacob how willing how much do we want to fight for it?
I tell you, if I become a multimillionaire one day, Janko, bro, I'm gonna send you a check for $250,000. Yeah, I still do a radio show. It's called the Colonation Radio Show on DeVille Radio on Wednesday nights. I did my best show this Wednesday, and I asked my producers to give me a card because I didn't get the chance to record it and put it on Spotify. You can find my archives on Spotify, Colonation Show, on Spotify. You can see all my archives of my shows, everything. My last show I did was about friends and friendship. That was the best show I ever did. The one I had, the latest one I got published is the one called The Crossover. That's about how black people crossed over, kicking the crossover, how black entertainers sell out by crossing over into the mainstream and stuff like that, and selling us out, and everything like that. It was a really good show, But check them out on Spotify, Colonation. Go to Spotify and look for the Colonation Show. You can see my old archives and everything like that. So I do a live show Wednesday night on DeVille Radio, formerly Gangsterville Radio. It's now DeVille Radio, DAVILLE, Ville, DeVille, DAVILLE radio.com. And you can check them out live on Wednesday night. It's broadcast in 150 countries. We got millions of listeners that listen and everything like that. I have my friends that do DJing, it's everything. It's the largest urban Black-owned online radio platform, DeVille Radio.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good, man. That's good. Y'all keeping it alive because nowadays, man, every man for himself, and people don't. It's no sense of community, you know. There's no
Yeah.
sense of individually. People doing good for
Oh
themselves.
yeah, everybody's doing good for themselves, but
Everyone's good for themselves. But
yeah,
as a
it's every man
community,
for himself now. And
yeah.
the arrogance that we see now with black people, we're not. That's like, and I drive a brand new car, right? No shame to that, right?
Hmm.
But you ever see black people? They pull up to the gas station, like, look at it, like I'm not. Let's say you got a nicer car than me, a car than me, right?
Hmm.
I don't care. I wish you a lot of luck. Especially sisters. Look what I'm pushing. I'm like all this superficial shit.
Yeah.
You know, I like, okay, I got a new car, you got a new car. Okay, your car might be more expensive than mine. Okay, that's fine. I'm satisfied with my car. You got your car. Why are we sitting there? This is the 90s where we got with new black money. We're still looking at
Yeah.
each other about what you got on, how much you got and whatnot, and all this superficial individualistic stuff instead of working together to pull each other up and whatnot. Say, how can we basically spend my time supporting a black-owned business? People think that's corny nowadays.
Yeah. Look at it's a black guy that came up with his own cologne, and I was buying from him all the time to the point that he got it online. I don't know if he still got the site up, but he had it online. I was buying from him. That was like in the 90s. Man, the females, I was trying to tell the females to go by over there. And later on, I was like, bro, the females, all the referrals I gave you, they didn't come through. They said, no, they're going to Macy's. They, they're going to Macy's to get their cologne or whatever. So all of a sudden, you see when I came back to America, they used to say, my supervisor used to say, the black man got to work twice as hard for less money. You know, that's for the white man. Now, for you as a black businessman, you got to prove yourself 10 times as much. For any product that's out there, you have to go all out. So prove yourself that you better than those products. So then is black people that are raising the standard, making it hard on a black business to come up because they're telling you got to be 30 times better than what the
Yep.
white man can put up. But now it's coming from your own people rather
Yeah.
than it was coming from white people. Because white people accept the standard back then in the 90s. Now everything you do, you gotta go all out. It gotta be spotless, perfect, and even at that, bro. Even when
And also, what I like to see is this, right,
the market share.
Amara? What I like to see is this, right? Why is it that white people make it a point of they say black people? Let's say we want to boycott a white business, right? Whoa. White people boycott black business every day.
Yeah.
For the most part, they don't spend their money in black businesses like they do other white businesses and everything. They make sure their money stays in white companies and everything. They see a black-owned grocery store. I ain't going there.
Yeah.
It's just natural and wired in them not to support us. Now, some white people who live in black areas that's not racist will subconsciously go in there. Like we got Virginia Beach, we got this Philly sub place, right? The best Philly cheesesteaks in the area, right?
Uh-huh.
They're down from Philadelphia. They in Virginia Beach, I'll give it, is very progressive. White people do support black-owned businesses here. I give it that, But for the most part, in other areas, the reason why black business is struggling outside this area is because white people simply don't. They're parity. Now, this Philly cheesesteak place, the line's out the door. White guys in the construction hats getting their Philly cheesesteaks and everything. And it's a black-owned business. They don't care. That's the way this region is right here, which is good. You can open a black business here, and you can get white patrons, whether it's a bar, There's a lot of black people own that own bars and everything that got all white clientels here. But I'm hearing all these stories in other places where businesses shut down because they're relying on black people. Black, I ain't black business, you know. And you should other races of people. We go into the Mexican restaurants, spend money there. Where's the Mexican people coming to our restaurants? You know.
And let me tell you something. They were quick to embrace Chinese. You see, Korean people. You see what I'm trying to say? Korean people build a store in the hood. Look at all this hair these women are wearing. You know, when I came back to America, one thing the black girls I used to mess with, they were all the time they were in beauty shop, black beauty shops. They got their hair, that hair that they do in the black beauty shop didn't last none but 3 days. It all got rough. You had to go back there to redo it again, touch up. You see what I'm saying? They were spending astronomical money in the black beauty shops. Here come the Chinese with wigs. Back then in the 90s, when you was dating a black girl and she was wearing a wig, it was a bad hair day. She'll wear that wig and then the next day she'll hurry up. If you seen her at work or wherever you seen her, she'll go nowhere else but straight home to take that wig off. Now they're rocking the wig like it's a fashion statement. You see what I'm saying? And it's Chinese owned. Where you had the beauty shop, whatever they made their hair, man, you mess with a black girl back then. Even when you want to hug her, kiss her, be like, oh, don't mess with my hair. When they sleep on the side of the pillow so their hair don't get messed up. They take pride in their hair. You know what I'm trying to say? All done by black beauty shops. Chinese came in with wigs, bruh, wigs. And who's when you go to these hair shops, who you see majority in there? It's black people. You see what I'm trying to say? I mean,
it's a sad thing because there's no thing. Black women unashamedly, you know, and we try to tell them that, oh, I don't want to hear all that black stuff. They're up there trying to get their nails done and all stuff in the Chinese place and whatnot. They don't think about, you know, black businesses and everything like that. It's a shame, you know. It's a shame, you know. Now they got the Chinese doing their hair and whatnot. Now let's talk about reparations. No, it was up to me over my dead body. You Negroes are going to start supporting black businesses, you know, and start paying yourself reparations. We're circulating these black dollars back in the black community. You know, so that's the way I see it.
Yeah. Lawyers, you know, when something you come and you recommend, really, when I came back to America, bro, I was so Afrocentric. I get in a wreck, you know, I get a black lawyer. You know, like when you get in a wreck, somebody hits you, you go look. People were running to white lawyers. You get in a wreck, I go to a black lawyer. I'll get big checks from them. You're like, brother, don't worry about it. I'm gonna work the system. The white man gonna pay you big fat checks. You see what I'm saying? Everything, even a black professional, now you're gonna be under a white man. You know, for your people to take you serious. You know, you can have your own, like a law firm, getting your own businesses coming in. You know, even independent doctor. And even the doctors now, most black doctors. When I was in the 90s, they had black doctors' offices. When the black doctors' offices, plain and simple. You know, all 100% black-owned business.
We used to have black-owned radio
black
stations.
Dentists. I had a black dentist. I had a black primary doctor. You know, now watch all these doctors. They're gonna go under the white man. They're gonna be on the white man for your own people to take you serious. You know, it's tough, man.
Yeah, we had one doctor, dentist, right, in the area that I used to do a lot of business where he used to bring me a lot of clients. We used to, our whole team, right? Dr. Stevenson, right? He retired. I broke my heart. He retired like 3 years ago, right? And he had a son there that was like not a dentist, but he did some of the work there. And I said to myself, when he retired, right, I thought his kids were going to take the business over. He shut the shit down, man. I'm like, what happened to this? Well, he retired, man. He's just like so like this. I said, well, who's running his business? Well, his son, whatever, like that. He didn't. I guess they didn't get their dental degree like that, but he just shut his practice down. And he had like I would say about a good 30% of the black community going to him and whatnot, and white community too. He was one of the best dentists in the area, Dr. Stevenson. And so he just shut down, and I was like, that just broke my heart because I feel like I was so proud that I'm doing business with a black-owned dentist.
Yeah.
You know, he have dental people that need insurance, right? I give them their insurance, and it was black people exchanging ID business, doing business together, and that just all just collapsed down. But I don't know what his reasons for shutting his business down like that, and not passing on. He could have at least found another black dentist somewhere to take on because he had a book of business.
Or partner with somebody and make it a bigger business if you was struggling, because that's all struggling business do. It's partner with a well-established firm for a percentage of the business. But you see, that's the thing. Now these boys coming out of med school, you got to go under a white man for your people to take you serious. You know? I'm telling you, bro. Oh man, the 90s, bro, it was really, really good out here, man.
Yeah, we were black back then. That's why. We were black. I don't know what the hell we are right now. You know, it just shows you, right? The ADOS FBA movement are nothing but a bunch of Oreos and wannabe white people pretending to be black, you know, talking about all this stupid nonsense. Black people have become more white over the years as we're becoming more white. I don't know what the hell we are.
Yeah, but bruh, even in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's where I live. Bruh, I'm telling you, it used to be a white-owned neighborhood called South Park. It was old money, but they were prejudiced. They give you that look. Okay? So now because there's more opportunity in the city, now people get paid so they could live, black people could live anywhere they you know, they can afford. Now you go over there. Sometimes I stay like one community away, but I got to go through there. And some black people look at you like, give you the look. I thought I was the only one. I talked to a whole bunch of other black people. Everybody said the same thing. They said now they separate. It's a clear cut separation. The professional, which is a good thing, but the people that come from the hood that are coming up, that are looking for inspiration, trying to motivate themselves, trying to move up the ladder, trying to move up in life. You know, when they look at these people, they call them, in North Carolina, call them bougie. Oh, I don't want to deal with these bougie people. But these people still go to school and get whatever, they get their degree, but they don't even mess with regular black people. You go over there into any of their stores, they have a mall, which is high as hell, but I still shop there. You know, you got your own people looking at you. Their mall was notorious because the prices were so high. It was notorious for anybody of color to go in there, and the white people start looking at you because they look at you from the way you dress all the way in, thinking you can afford to shop there. Now, in 20, because I lived in this city for over 20 some years. Now I go to that same mall. You got black people looking at me like, "What you doing over here?" I'm like, or you know, it's a high-end store called it's another store called Whole Foods. You go in there to buy, get your groceries because it's expensive. I go there for certain items that I like. The black people looking at you in there like, just like the white people are looking at you like, well, wait a minute.
Yes, it's a divide, man. Everybody wants to be in their own little class
shame,
and
man.
everything like that, you know. And so it's a mess, you know. Black empowerment, man, I don't know what's the future, man, but we just gotta keep doing what we gotta do, you know, and keep, you know, sound alarm because it seems like people are walking away from Black empowerment. They rather focus on hatred and division and stupid stuff that gets us nowhere.
Yeah.
I hope I
The
got
people,
through to people tonight, you know?
the people that want to work together and pick up the pieces from wherever it was, got to get together and move on. You can't be listening to nobody else or whatever anybody else got to say. You just keep it pushing, keep on keeping on. I mean, oh man, I got some dudes back then back in the day in the 90s out here in Charlotte, man. We was sitting back there and it was a church retreat. We were sitting out there talking, just reminiscing about the good old days in this city, how it used to be and how everybody had pride. Church, you know, the Black church was big. Everybody was trying to be ministers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people trying to be elders, everybody trying to outdo each other when it comes to the scripture. Man, we sitting back there talking for hours. Fish fries, cookouts.
Right.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, them days are gone. You know?
It's sad though, but it's sad, bro. It's sad.
Yeah, so I think the next wave thing is the Pan-African revival, you know, building in Africa and stuff like that. That's what's going to rejuvenate Black America, you know? You know, because the more we integrate into America, the more we died. You know?
Yeah. That's gonna be the way. That's gonna be the way Africa. But at least over there, nobody don't bother you. You go about doing what you want to do.
Yeah, I like the fact that when I'm in Liberia, when I'm spending money on 90% of the business I'm spending money on as a Liberian. I like putting Black dollars in Black hands. You know, I feel honored to do that. You know, so spending money on the African continent is all good to me.
But even Kyla, even as far as investments, when they were talking about Black people don't teach each other, you have Black people working for Edward Jones. You see what I'm saying? You have Black wealth management companies back then in this city. I used to live in
Charlotte's
DC.
the banking capital of the country. Yeah, you got.
Well, even in DC, I used to live in DC and Maryland. It was big over there too. When I moved from DC and Maryland, I had some investments with some Black old company like Walmart and Coca-Cola that they brought it over here. They referred me to these other people to keep investing. You know, even insurance guys. You don't see, you don't see too many Black insurance people. Used to be like all that was laid down from your insurance guy, the guy you paid your insurance to.
Yeah.
Everything was Black. All types of Black businesses.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I was supporting all those guys, bro. For my car insurance, you know, even mortgages. When I bought my house, it was a Black guy that worked for this company, Eastwood Homes, was the one that closed that idea. You know? Man, the standard don't drop, man. I say I'm telling you, we was at this church retreat, man. We was just reminiscing about the good old in the 90s, man. So the 2000s.
Yeah,
2000
was a good time period.
Yeah,
music,
man. It's sad though. It's sad, man.
The music, everything was fun.
Music was good quality of music. R&B was good. You know, I got also all those old 90s R&B songs.
Yeah.
You know, from Genuine,
Jagged Edge,
Jagged Edge, Yeah the Kids, you know, all of them. I still play them to this day, man. Throwbacks.
Throwback. Yeah, all I listened to was a throwback station.
Yeah, throwbacks, bro. Man. That was the best. That's why I tell people, even the females, the standard of females. You see these girls get out today, they roll out of bed. They roll out of bed with a morning gown and some flip-flops and a bonnet and come out the house. Straight out, roll out of bed. In the 90s to the 2000s, I swear to God, bro, the Black girls I dealt with, if you see them, if you come to their house and they had a bad hair day, or they didn't dress the way they were supposed to dress, They won't open that door until they put up something decent before they open that door for you. Ah, this one's rolled out with a morning gown, bonnet on the head, you know, just like just straight roll out of bed with a morning gown and go to like an ABC store or any store or go to Walmart. God, bro, I tell you, man.
There's a whole culture. The social media has made all this stuff normal. That's why I said we do shows like this tonight, letting you know that they're gonna think twice when they start talking about reparations in public now. When they start talking about AL's FBA in public now, they say that's how people think of me. It's trash. Yeah, I think of you as trash. You know, because we used to have pride in ourselves. We used to be about supporting black businesses, everything like that. If we don't get back to that, we're gonna freaking die. You know, a lot of black businesses went out of business because they didn't have the support no more in the community. Nobody's interested in this anymore.
Tell you, bro, it's a shame. You know, not every man for himself. You know, not don't let something happen to you, man. Your battery died on your phone, and you call AAA wherever you at. You can't. You ask anybody for a phone, be like, "Hey, bro, can I just call one of my cousins?" They give you that look like, you know, don't be stranded out there. You know, with your say your tire, your there's a hole in your tire or whatever, your tire's flat.
Yeah.
And AAA taking forever to come, or the tow truck, or whoever. Your help is taking forever to come. And you know your battery about to die, they about to contact you. Oh man, if you don't have an extra pack, a battery pack with you to go around, or anything happen to you, the wood man, nobody cares.
Nope.
No sense of community. Nobody cares, bro. Everybody's for themselves. Every man for themselves, bro. Every man for themselves. Yeah, anything happen to you out here? She. You don't have that one or two people that are gonna look out for you. Or, you know, reach out, even to give you a ride, say your car down or whatever. Shh, you done. Man, it's just.
All right, so Bomani, you want to close out, brother?
Yeah. Okay, let me leave you guys, man.
Your final thoughts on you just give your final thoughts and just wrap it up and we shut it down and we just link with everybody next time.
Yeah. The final thoughts. My final thoughts tonight is the fact that we proved our point, right? You cannot talk about black empowerment and stuff like that and talk about reparations at the same time. Cannot do it. The reparations movement is designed to steer us away from collective work and responsibility, you know, working together and building and sustaining, you know. It means long-term building, like Amara just saying. We used to have things that we used to do together, fish fries and stuff like that, people raising money, and we used to have black investment clubs and all stuff like that, because we were serious about black empowerment and black unity. We no longer have that anymore. You know, and the thing is, instead of us recouping that, we're talking about reparations, you know, and getting involved in the political process and voting around who's going to give us so-called reparations. And while everybody else, other races are cleaning our clocks, you know, building stuff. So we got to get back to the thing. The Rock says, FBA empowerment, College, the hell with you. There's no FBA and there's no FBA empowerment.
Yeah, the whole he been on the last 3 hours with nothing but nasty negative comments. I mean, it's similar to 90% of the other comments, but I mean, these people are just trash, no class.
How are they going to empower themselves? How are they going to empower them being divisive and everything like that? You know, I don't want to be around you. If somebody comes to me and says I'm an FBA and I can't hang out and have a beer with my brother Bomani because he's from Jamaica, born in Jamaica, and my brother Amara, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to be around black people like that. You ain't my type of black people.
I mean, look at this nasty comment right here.
Obese Kyle, one of them not obese. Obese Kyle smoking cigars, begging FBA. How am I begging FBA for money? What is FBA? And FBA don't have the money. You guys are begging for a reparations check. Colin, you're Caribbean. And now I'm Caribbean now, you know? The fun never stops, man. I'm a beast.
Caribbean. You can't make this up, bro. You can't make this up.
You can't make this shit up, man. These people don't understand. They're insane. I proved over the last couple of shows the FBA movement, these people are insane. They're sick.
But when you follow a movement like that, what do we do for you? You know? What do FBA do for you in your personal life?
Nothing.
Do we help you in your personal life, bro?
You know? No, nothing. I mean,
you trying to be a cheerleader, for FBA and whatever. Look in the mirror, bro. All this you doing, all this thing you spitting out, do we help you? Do we make you a better person? Do your life go, you know, you take your life to the next level, bro? Doing all this stuff? Bro.
Yeah, Rock, how about you grow some balls and be a man and come on here and say some of these things to our face, you coward?
Yeah. And Cam, because they're a bunch of cowards.
You're doing all this,
up here for the last 3 hours.
Cheerleading. You're doing all this cheerleading. Tariq keeping all the money. Tariq got all the money, and you doing all the work.
This is what I meant to say. Tariq's gonna move on from the next thing, and they're gonna look like fools. Tariq is gonna find the next hustle, grip, and you're gonna say, you know, the FBA shit ain't popping. I ain't fucking with that no more. And he's gonna move on. Like, who's our leader now? You guys look stupid. Tariq went from being a Moor to a Pan-Africanist and the Haitian upright. He's all over the place.
Yeah. You forgot to start out with a pimp.
Oh yeah, pimp. You know, he was a pimp. You know, how to get your what's it called? How to get your pimp on? You know, how you get your pimp game on? Some shit like that. You know. So you guys are following somebody that's basically just a personality. He says, "The Rock, why do you have some jealous towards non-FBA? You have smoke. Click. Explain yourself. You're a natural coward." The bottom line is this. He says, "Oh, Colin, you're Caribbean. How can you be a Caribbean? I was born in New York City. My mother was born in Harlem. My father was born in North Carolina.
22 generations.
Born in Georgia.
You got 22 generations.
I got all these generations going back. My ancestors come from the original Africans brought here from the Congo and Angola. That's why I trace my ancestors back to this country too. You know, Africa would permanently deal with it. Called Africa would permanently colonized. Africa is not going to be colonized. That's dead in the water. You're colonized in America. Your brain is colonized right now. You know. I've never Black America.
All this rah-rah talk they got, all this rah-rah talk you got, man. You better don't let Tariq let you down. Think. Don't let Tariq, because now you're burning bridges with us by doing all this rah-rah talk.
You know what's gonna happen? Tariq's gonna luck up and go mainstream. Some Hollywood producer gonna call him for a film or something like that, and he's gonna rub elbows with the right white people. You think he's gonna be doing FBA stuff anymore? No, he's gonna be gone. You stupid, you know.
I mean, all he does is just use them, and I mean, they're basically like stormtroopers.
Yeah, he's just using them, you know. They got people running around the internet thinking they're gonna get a reparations check.
And like Amara mentioned, man, you know, all the cheerleader they're doing for him, he's making all the money, he's getting all the praise.
He get all the credit because they say today, okay, we're making a movie about reparation, or we're doing something. Tariq is the one that's going to get all the credit, and he's going to get everything because he started the movement. All he needs is some followers. You see, you got to lead and think outside the box.
And there's no real follower, man. Online. You don't meet these people in real life. You don't see nobody saying, "I'm gonna ADOS FBA in real life." People are like, well, what the hell is that? You know, it's all online. You know, all they do is troll. You know, these people are nothing. They're minute in the black in Black America. They're minute. They don't exist.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right, guys, I'm out, man.
All right,
I'll
Omar.
talk to
Thanks
you.
for calling in, brother. Thanks for the
All
input.
right.
But like I said, we're winning
Yes,
this battle.
fella. Another great energy, brother.
Yeah, we're winning this battle. We made that point. These guys have nothing to say but stupid ass comments and whatnot, you know? Nothing to say. I thought somebody was going to say, oh, no, we could do reparations. They haven't so articulated how you going to talk about how is it that Bomani, I remember in the 90s, right? I know you were concentrating on aviation and stuff like that, but we were making power moves.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Huh? You was in high
I was
school,
in
right?
high school in the 90s, yes.
Bro, we were making Black Enterprise magazine. Everybody was talking about building this and building bridges with Africa and the Caribbean, stuff like that, investments. People were learning about how stock exchange work and whatnot. And all of a sudden, Black professionals putting together investment clubs, investing in their communities and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the last 4 or 5 years and whatnot, we have this ADOS FBA movement. ADOS is a Black identity. They're stupid identity extremists. They don't identify with Black people. It's stupid. It's stupidity. It's just Black people who basically, instead of them basically joining the Black power movement, the ADOS FBA people don't believe in Black empowerment. Because if you believe in Black empowerment, right, and you were winning and you had a business, everything. Let me tell you the reason why I'm so optimistic, right? And I'm so happy because I have a business. I make money. It took me a lot of years of hard work. I have a business. So I'm a happy person. If I had nothing going for me in my life besides working at McDonald's and stuff like that, I would be jealous of an African coming over here and being able to leave and go stuff like that while I'm still sitting here at a dead-end job. If I had nothing going on in my life, I'd be an ADOS FBA too.
Good point.
Too. Because these type of people, Black people, not only they don't like black immigrants, they don't even like other Black people. These are the same people who walk past a Black business. I ain't buying from you. I ain't buying from a nigga. I ain't buying from this one. I know who these people are. When you start talking about building business and everything, and somebody calls in and say, yeah, I got a business and everything. Let me give you an example. There was this girl that used to be an O'Shea show called Erica. I forgot her last name, right? But Erica, right? This sister was all about Black empowerment, right? And all these people on O'Shea show, he used to have the largest, back then, to have 400 people in your live chat, that was like 6 years ago. She used to have, every time she would go on, the viewership would go down. She would show people how to get their credit right. She had a meetup where she says, if you want to get your CDL license, I can help you with that and whatnot. Nobody shows up, So she get how to get business government loans, stuff like that. She would do all kinds of stuff like that. Nobody was interested. But yet, when we start talking about women and stupid stuff online and back and forth, the chat room's full. People going at it with each other, Taz and all these other clowns going at it back and forth with each other. Everybody's on it when we talk about nonsense. Every time he did a show where he's talking about, when he got her on, we'll talk about Black business development and stuff like that, investment and all stuff like that, how to do stuff like that. She had a couple of people on. And friggin' O'Shea will there'll be less than 100 people in the chat. Now, these same people have something now we call ADOS FBA that they can sit around and gravitate towards and everything like that. That's why I don't take social media seriously. I don't take these people serious at all. All those people that basically don't want to do anything with their lives and everything. And so therefore, when you try to do something with your life They're not just jealous of African immigrants. They're jealous of successful black people too. You know, you say something about, I remember I was in this one group, right? They kicked me out and they started talking about Aliko Dangote. I said, what's wrong with that? Oh, white man, you know, white man's controlling him. The black. I said, he makes all his money in Africa. What are you talking about? No, man, he's a plant, man. But how to explain to me a plant? Next thing you know, blip, I'm out. See, that's what I'm saying. You know, you have to colonize mind because no black people could get rich, a billionaire, unless he's working for the white man and all something like this. So these are negative people. Anytime you see a black person successful, they always got to count, oh, well, you know, you got to understand the white man allowed him to do that. And he works for the white man, why not? No, he basically applied his craft, whether sports or whatever like that, got wealthy and everything. And so if he's giving back to the community, who cares how he did it? He's giving back. And you don't like it, the fact that he did it without you. And when black people do get on there and talk about, yeah, we got a successful club, we bought like 5 properties. Look how they came after, Bomani, do you remember how they came after Jay Morris, Yvette Carnell, Tone Talks?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, they were determined to crush this guy. What's up, Ross? Are you back from Nimba County, brother? You back yet? Yo, he showed me some videos. Nimba's booming, man. It's nice, man. Like that boys has a hotel up there. I said, man, y'all eat that heavy for breakfast? That's another thing, Bomani. In Liberia, man, they eat some heavy breakfasts, man. I'm like, damn. I see eggs, fish. You know, like, how y'all eat that shit in the morning? I remember that, you know. Oh, he's still in Ganta. Okay. So bottom line is this. They came after Jay Morris. I'm like, God damn. You know, oh, he's scamming black people. No, he's not scamming. He has a business idea. Now, it didn't work, right? I would have been, if I was Jay Morris, I would have went for residential property than commercial property. That's where he made his mistake. But the business model that he did was good. It did show black people they can come together and invest. And they raised millions of dollars and purchase properties. Like any other business, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But that's business. We don't say, look, if Jay Morris tried it, let's never do that again. So let's go for reparation. Now they use Jay Morris as a case for we should be talking about reparations. So this is what I'm talking about. You want to talk about reparations because you don't believe in black empowerment. Because you know why? Because this has a simple reason why they don't like black empowerment. They know even if you do empower black people, they will be at the bottom. The people who don't like black empowerment or don't think it work know that they have nothing to offer. They have no skill. They have no work ethic. They have no business acumen. So, like, what does that mean for me? Whatnot, you know? If people start making money and everything like that, where do I fit in? You don't fit in. Get a job. Do something productive with your life. So that's what we have to talk about tonight. I don't know if anybody else wants to get on. You want to wrap it up, Bomani?
Yes, brother man. We can wrap it up, close out for the night. Appreciate your energy and family. We'll close out with some good music from Ijanoa, and the journey continues.
Things we have to go and do it, you know.
body and destroy your world. They are waging all kind of warfare to distract and confuse your mind. Break them shackles, break them chains. Don't let them control your brain. Break them shackles, break them chains. Even though them change your name. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake. The mouths of the wise teach knowledge, but the lips of the fool talking foolishness. Almighty, we don't like them hypocrites, we don't like them parasites. Them scheme by day, them plot by night, striving on the plight of the poor and the sufferers. Oh, Jah know them are backstabbers, Jah know them are bloodsuckers. I can't take them vampires, 'cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I'm on fighting for what is right. No, nah, give up your fighting for truth and rights. Hopeful in a Jaja side. Fight, we have to fight, we have to fight. Fight, we have to fight with all we might. Fight, we have to fight, we have to fight. Fight, we keep out all them parasites. 'Cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter.
Just no one here in Babylon, no way. Can't trust no one here
hearing Bobby wrong. I say, dog eat dog world. Can't trust no one hearing Bobby wrong. Wicked and brutal world.